right.
I like that transition.
Yes, sir.
He got the transition going, baby. Anyway, shout out to my mom in Arkansas and to my dog sitting next to me here in Wisconsin, Blaze Fury, watching all the way from the US of A. Blaze Fury, I know.
Let's go.
Ouch and but a frog. What does that mean? Boss J. All right, boys and girls, welcome to the Ball Boys TMC 105.1 Blaze. Let me go ahead and take down your first comment from earlier because you checked in. I'm going to keep it chugging for you. So let's talk about it. Dive right into it, Raph. By the way, before we start the show, before anybody starts going crazy in the comments, Raph, introduce yourself. Holler at everybody. What's up?
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Raph Chavez. Oh, I guess my mic's a little loud at the moment. Oh, no. There we go.
Nah, you're good.
Yeah. All right. Again, Raph Chavez over here, TMC 105.1 FM, the best of us. We're here. We're talking about basketball. Let's get into it.
Let's go, baby. All right, Blaze Fury, I will indulge your comment because the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers they played yesterday, Raph. I watched that game. I gave James Harden his flowers, ladies and gentlemen, and now I'll talk about your comment in a bit. But we got to talk about James Harden first, Raph, when we're talking about that series because he has all of a sudden eradicated all of the narratives, the negative narratives about him being a choker, not being a performer. But the goalpost continues to move for James Harden. I saw on ESPN this morning that, and let me know what you guys think about this because they kept saying that, well, it's not games 1 through 5 where James Harden needs to step up and be an impact player. No, it's games 6 and 7. But if he can be this already in a clutch moment, in a very pivotal game, I think he deserves his flowers. Now, second to that, Raph, is what Blaze Fury wanted to cover where Jalen Duren. If you told Detroit Pistons fans earlier in the year that in the playoffs, in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference, that we would be needing to play Paul Reed instead of Jalen Duren, I bet you they would smack you so hard with whatever hand they have available with them or whatever hand is available for smacking because they would think you are crazy that Jalen Duren would somehow be stifled in the playoffs. But that is now truth, Raph. Talk to me about first, let's cover James Harden and, of course, Jalen Duren. Thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, right, with the James Harden situation, this is something that I think, the true blue beard fans have always wanted to see from him. Him being able to finally take his dominance from the regular season games into the playoffs and actually perform in pivotal games.
Yep.
Because there are games where, he's going off, but, it's like game 1, game 2. But then when it comes to those pivotal games, those elimination games, all of a sudden, James Harden is just not there.
True.
And it's been very disappointing to watch, especially in his later on years over there when he went over to the Clippers and then when he went to Philadelphia, especially that Game 7 against Boston, where both him and Embiid looked like the worst players on the court.
They probably were.
And they probably were the worst players on that court. It was so disappointing to watch, but him coming up huge in a very pivotal Game 5. This could have been the game that really decided the series.
Probably.
Because both teams defended home court.
Yep.
So far in that series. And it was all about who's going to drop the ball first.
True.
And unfortunately for Detroit, it was them. And it really took James Harden stepping up to get there. But man, is it really disappointing to see the fall off of Jalen Duren in these playoffs. My guy, you are too swole to be getting 2 rebounds 2 games in a row.
Too swole?
You are too huge
oh my God.
to be just grabbing 2 rebounds.
Exactly.
What is happening?
True. Well, I'll... Too swole got me, man. That's a good one, Ralph. But you are
huge.
I know he is. People were talking about Jalen Duren like he's a silverback gorilla that got unleashed onto the basketball court. I'll touch on this. York Humphrey Chan. Duren, no bag. Only putbacks, alley-oops, and rebounds.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's your typical big man.
Yeah.
Built with size and
that's not
physicality.
surprising.
Yeah, not a surprising take. But that is somehow affecting, that is somehow affecting Jalen Duren and his ability to be effective out on the court. Because if you're too one-dimensional, when you try to really impose your size and impose your physicality, a certain part of it gets exposed where there's not a lot of footwork. There's no actual moves that he can go to.
Yeah.
If he's trying to be Shaquille O'Neal with it, the unfortunate part about that is you're not 7'1", 300 pounds, and with the athleticism of a Vince Carter, so to speak.
Yeah.
We're talking about prime Shaq. The fall off of Jalen Duren revolves so much around his inability to actually be something outside of a brute force type player. So he would need to have a floater. He would need to have some type of touch. He would need to be effective off a pick and roll, off of some type of action down by the baseline where he's posting somebody up. Because if you're simply going to be using your brute force in an NBA that allows for, it doesn't really even have a lot of single coverage moments anymore.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody has the basketball and it's a scoring opportunity, you're going to see guys attack. You're going to see the defense be a lot more aggressive. Double teams are coming. It doesn't matter who you are. They're going to show double. They're going to show trap. They're going to flood the baseline. They're going to flood the top. And again, force you to do one of two things that the defense as a team will force you to do. So for me, Jalen Duren's inability to adjust, his inability to find moves, or his inability to go to something down in the block, in the paint, outside of being a silverback gorilla, is just a crime to me. But
it is. I mean, one thing I think that gets really underrated about Shaq's game as well is that Shaq had really good footwork.
Oh, you did?
He had really good footwork. So if Jalen Durham wants to be a Shaq type of player, he needs to work on that. He really does. And I really don't think he's going to be able to pull that out come game 6. So who knows? Maybe you think they're going to start him, because I'm scared for this man.
Paul Reed has been rescuing them. Especially, I remember I was watching Game 4 in the Cleveland versus Detroit late in that third quarter. Paul Reed was the reason why they made a comeback, or they were like, it was a 23-0 run by Cleveland. If you guys remember, I think a lot of y'all who are watching my live, we were covering that game. We tried to cover. There was a 23-0 run by Cleveland, and Paul Reed, and if I remember correctly, it was another role player on Detroit. But they were leading the charge back for Detroit. They were trying to pull them back down, back out of the abyss. And it wasn't Jalen Duren. It wasn't Cade Cunningham. Jalen Duren has just been so missing in these playoffs. And one comment here saying, well, that's why Angel Reese left him.
Wow. Wow, really bringing up his love life into this, huh?
I know. Other comment is, Blaze Fury, Duren is even worse than Ayton. We'll talk about the Lakers in a bit. His plus minus is insane from Nato. He is unplayable.
Yeah,
it's been difficult for Jalen Duren. It's been that.
If your scoring is going down, the very least you expect him to try to make up for it on other ends.
Yeah.
But the rebounding went down as well. Come on, 2 rebounds.
2 rebounds. It's almost like Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
When you're talking about Jalen Duren, why are you not getting more rebounds? Right?
Yeah, it almost reminded me of Roy Hibbert when he got 0 rebounds. It's like, you're the tallest guy on the court.
You're the biggest guy out on the court too.
And for Duren, you're the biggest guy on the court. How is Mobley and Jarrett Allen out rebounding you? They're skinny compared to you.
They are malnourished compared to him.
Yeah, they look malnourished compared to you. Brother, do something. Move them out of the way. Or at the very least, on the defensive end, which was supposedly one of his strengths as well. Show up there. What's happening?
Well, they are playing him very physical, and I'll read a couple more comments. Gabo saying current Ayton or Celtics Shaq.
Current Ayton or Celtics Shaq. Okay, come on. Let's not disrespect Ayton too much.
I think Ayton is a little bit more functional than
come on.
Shaq.
08 Shaq
was horrible.
I mean 09. Was that 09?
I think it was like 08 or 09.
Yeah. I mean Celtic Shaq. Come on, guys. Let's just that was he could barely move.
Luffy Mo. I'll get the Blaze Fury first. From Shaq to Anthony Bennett. Yeah, no, just been very, very terrible. I think I can't even dismiss Jalen Duren too much, Raph, where to dismiss and say that he's being defended well, that he is being crowded enough, where Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley are really making him a non-factor. I think it was because there has been this rising belief that Jalen Duren had the ability to take the next step. When we're talking about the next step, as a big man, he could elevate himself to where Cade is. There was even a conversation late in the season about Jalen Duren where if Cade Cunningham is in the MVP conversation, then Jalen Duren is not too far from that conversation because of how much he has actually also helped Detroit become the number 1 seed. Yeah. Now, there was some truth to that. The playoffs often expose the realities that we try so hard to be. What do I mean by that? We tried to push Jalen Duren to be in that conversation. But the playoffs again breathe life to the idea that he might not be ready the way we all thought he would be ready, right? To make that leap, to take that next step. Jalen during these playoffs has been concretely exposed where he doesn't have a lot of post moves to go to. He's a brute force type of player. He uses that physicality, but when he gets physical right back, he all of a sudden becomes a little, very, very ineffective. Not even a little, very ineffective, right?
Yeah.
Lafimo, I'll go to you, Raf. Can Ross and Phoenix extend the series tonight? Lafimo, stay tuned. I will be covering all of the PBA later on, and it's going to be a lot of fun conversation. And shout out, by the way, to Sean Kitaves. Sean Kitaves, if you are watching, bro, I got your back. There is no way on God's green earth I will let you ever be called Kitik Kitaves. It is a horrible nickname. Flippin' terrible. What the hell? Whoever gave you that nickname, you ought to be fired. Why the hell is he mosquito larva? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Mosquito larva. You gotta be kidding me. All right, Ralph. Sorry, go on.
Oh, okay. What was the question again? Sorry. I'm trying to look at the standings as well for the PBA, but the thing about this website again,
horrible.
Like whenever it comes to the playoffs, I have so much trouble, especially if you're not keeping up to things on a day-to-day basis. I have so much trouble trying to catch up.
Right.
Like, what's the standing right now on the playoffs? Because they don't have a bracket here. There's nothing. It just tells you recap schedule, and the schedule is just for all the games moving forward. You can't look at the games on the back. You have to go to the another page which says recap, and then even there, it doesn't tell you what the standings are between the series. It's like it sucks. This website sucks.
Well, I'll tell you, right? Sorry, because I got somebody asking me if I'm gay. I'm not gay.
Why are you asking?
Yeah, weirdo.
I think there's a reason behind that question, huh?
This might... I gotta remove these. Choco! Welcome to the live, buddy. What's good, man? Welcome back. I got a couple of OG fans now who normally tune into the show. It's been great. Every time I go on live, they come, and Choco, he's one of them. I love you. Usen is back on live, buddy. Let's take it off. Let's take off, man. Let's take off. Boss J, yes, I am 100% Filipino. Raf, he looks like he's from another country, but I guarantee he's 100% Filipino, too. Do not let the Chocomoco skin fool you, and the accent fool you as well. We live and breathe Philippine air, dirt, what have you. Sticking still to the NBA, the other series that was concluded over the week was the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers.
That's sweet.
We did make this pretty easy conclusion that New York would be able to take Philadelphia even with a healthy Embiid Raf. Thoughts on the series so far, and New York being in the Eastern Conference Finals for the second year in a row. I think that's terrific given where they were the past couple of years.
Yeah.
They've been in the doghouse or the NBA doghouse for way too long.
They were the punching bag.
Correct. My biggest fear, and L, welcome to the live, sir. Welcome back. Finals predictions, Usen, easy. I'll get to that in a bit. But New York right now being in the Eastern Conference Finals for 2 straight years, it's both enjoyable to watch for you as a basketball fan, mortifying if you're in Manhattan because you know every after Knicks game it is chaos. It is apocalypto level. It's called, I don't know. It was like the BLM situation. Remember the Black Lives Matter situation? It's crazy.
No, another comparable situation to this actually is France. So when France won the World Cup, I believe.
Yeah.
Bro, Paris was on fire.
I thought it was a riot in Paris. What is going on?
Like you would think, wait, they lost?
No, they won. This is them in elation.
This is them happy, burning down their own city because they're happy. Crazy. Yeah, but with the Knicks and the 76ers, I was hoping for more of a fight from the 76ers, not gonna lie. And that last game getting blown out like that was
wasn't what we expected.
Joel Embiid actually had a really good game. He didn't miss a single shot, and they still lost by like what, 30 40 points, something like that.
It was an obliteration.
Yeah, it was a complete obliteration. And I think the Knicks like tied a playoff record for the most 3 shot in a game, 25 made in a game rather.
They were on fire.
Yeah, they could not be stopped. So unfortunately for the 76ers, they figured out how to stop the Celtics 3 points from raining down, but they couldn't stop the Knicks.
Well, for the Knicks also was a great timing because for so long they were more of a They were more of a downhill type team. Karl Anthony Towns, Bridges, and Anunoby made a very proactive effort to attack the rim.
Brunson,
Get the Brunson, of course. Brunson's more of a mid-range scorer than an actual three-point shooter. We can all agree on that. And in one game where they thought, all right, well, because they started to take that away, the mid-range, and their coaching staff came ready. They had all these different looks for Deuce McBride. Again, you can't count him out. Karl Anthony Towns was one of the best big man three-point shooters in the NBA. They came ready where the sets that they were running were for good looks from three. A lot of the action was to get players open for three. And the players did not hesitate. They got green lit, and they were starting to knock them down.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, when the coaching staff gives you that much trust, you step
come
up.
through.
Yeah, put up or shut up. Yeah,
exactly. And so the Knicks are already through. Great for them. Again, fearful for the Town. I really have a lot of reason to believe to be afraid. Let's look at the other side of the coin first because before that, Detroit versus Cleveland, and a couple of comments real quick. I'll go through them. So L is on. Usain, finals predictions. We'll get to that. Knicks versus Spurs, a very good potential finals matchup. Ito yon. Good afternoon, buddy. Welcome to the live. Welcome. I'm showing y'all Raf right now. This is Raf. All right.
Yo, what up?
Right. Bernatoy Bridges finally getting his rhythm correct. Mikal Bridges finding his rhythm has been important for the New York Knicks' success.
Very.
Usain, the fan base of Knicks is crazy. Kind of cool. Those people are on another level. It's honestly like Sinolog on steroids. It's crazy. But, hold on, let me finish up. Tadaram puro Filipino English translation. Your blood is Filipino. 100% Filipino, Boss J. Thank you. What is your ratio number? What is a ratio number? Are you saying radio number or ratio number? All right.
Ratio number.
Ratio number. What is a ratio number? All right. Well, how are we with the station?
Speaking of update on that, actually, we should be the antenna should be coming up today, hopefully.
Oh my God.
The thing about our delivery guy, he's been telling us dates, and unfortunately, it's just so far the dates have been inaccurate.
I don't know how you can deal with that.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? We're really just like hoping he'll be able to pull through with what he tells us, and he did say yesterday that it would come up yesterday, and now he's telling us it's going to come up today.
Okay.
So hopefully it's today.
It's today. All right.
Yeah, it's either today or this weekend. But yeah,
Okay.
we've already got the technical crew on standby. That Jiggy's ready to bring them up once the antenna arrives.
Got you. By the way, for everybody watching, we are TMC 105.1. Got you, Boss J. So that's TMC 105.1. Where are you? Whereabouts are you, Boss J? Because you can hear us. You can tune into us on the radio. We are available in Bohol, Leyte. I know we're available in a lot of different areas, not just Cebu.
Widely in the Visayas
area. Yeah. As long as you have the radio frequency to hit up 105.1, you'll be able to hear myself and Raf. If you're not watching us already on the lives, TikTok on Q Sports and Media and TMC 105.1. Okay. Cleveland, Detroit. We got to pick that apart first. Heading into game number 6, the Cleveland Cavaliers all of a sudden have taken home court advantage. Raf. This is what a lot of people are alluding to with James Harden. Can you win it for your team on your home floor?
Yeah.
Can you be, because for so long, you're an MVP. You were a former MVP candidate. The narrative about you is that you're a terrific number one, but you as a number one doesn't necessarily translate to championships. That should not necessarily be a knock on James Harden per se, but it's the narrative that has followed and haunted him throughout his career. Now he has an opportunity to rewrite the script, go into game 6, come up with a big game. The question is, do we trust him to come up with a big game, Raf?
Yeah. I want to say I do. Because I feel like for Harden, it's now or never. It's now or never for him.
Correct.
And like I said earlier, it's really that game 5, and to see who could drop the ball first.
Right.
And unfortunately for Detroit, it was them. So I feel like everything is in favor of the Cavs. The Cavs so far are undefeated on their home court in this playoff run. So I don't see why they can't pull it together. And unless Duran finally figures out how to, shoot the basketball somehow within this span of 24 hours, then maybe Detroit has a chance. But really, this has been the biggest problem of Detroit that I noticed throughout the regular season as well, even when they were winning games. It's that nobody else outside of Cade Cunningham can consistently score 20 plus points. Even when in the games that there was no Cade and they won those games, the most I saw was usually Duran, and sometimes he'd just have 19 points, barely scratching 20. So this has been what I believe the biggest weakness of the Pistons. It's that offensive end. And when teams finally, sync up on defense, what will the Detroit Pistons be able to do? And I guess these past 3 games against the Cavs has pretty much answered that question. They struggle.
They struggle a lot, and this was something that I think we even pointed out way before when we're talking about the Detroit Pistons. They're very Cade Cunningham centric.
Yes.
Right. Before that, a shout out to Bobby Brown Lee. Welcome to the live, buddy. Welcome to the live. Thank you for following. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ball Boys 105.1. Follow us on our available social media platforms, everyone. So they're very Cade Cunningham centric, right? Talking about the Detroit Pistons. What that means is the ball gravitates towards him, and every offensive possession gravitates around Cade Cunningham's ability as well. What does that mean for the Detroit Pistons when you're going up against a very good team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have a James Harden, who have a Donovan Mitchell, Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, Max Strus, who's been incredible for the Cleveland Cavaliers throughout this entire series. That means that if you're Cade Cunningham, you would have to probably make like LeBron James against the Detroit Pistons. What was that, 2006? Where you had to score or assist on every damn conceivable field goal. Because that is what it's going to take for you to take this series back to Detroit in a Game 7 the same way you did against the Orlando Magic and somehow pull this magic rabbit out of a hat.
Yeah.
Because the way the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing, with all that steam, all that momentum, they have big step-up players like James Harden. They have Donovan Mitchell, who can put up 30 a night as well on any given night.
Yeah.
Their consistency will always be – their consistency comes into question. Their ability in these big games come into question. But there is this strong sentiment surrounding them that this could be the moment they break free from those narratives, especially at James Harden and especially at Donovan Mitchell.
And speaking of this series as well, did you see that moment where Jarrett Allen tripped Asar Thompson? And there was like a no call, and a lot of people are like pointing out that, man, this could have been like this could have been a moment for them to try and get the ball, call a timeout. Maybe they could have gotten another possession in,
probably,
to try to win the game.
Yeah,
and it kind of reminded people about how the Pistons exited the playoffs last season as well, where I think it was like Beasley.
Yeah,
Malik Beasley going for a 3, got fouled, no call, and they ended up losing that game. So a lot of people are also speculating online: is this like a clear bias against the Detroit Pistons? Are there calls that aren't being called?
Maybe, but I want to Bobby Brown Lee. A Cinderella run Cavs to the NBA Finals might happen. Pacers did it last season.
True.
Shout out to John. John, welcome back to the live, sir. We are talking basketball. It's the Ball Boys at TMC 105.1. You're correct. There is some truth to the Detroit Pistons where they keep being on the wrong end of these calls and these situations. I feel bad for them because they shouldn't be. The way they played, where they've come from, again, this is they haven't announced Coach of the Year yet because I think voters and the NBA are waiting to see what the Detroit Pistons do. Because there's such a negative, like there's a lot of negative aura right now around Joe Mazzulla, in my opinion. Like you're possibly going to win Coach of the Year. Paulie Market had you winning 94%.
Yeah, and now
all of a sudden you're out of the playoffs. You were the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference because you literally shot your way out of the playoffs, legit. And now the conversation is around JB Bickerstaff. If the Detroit Pistons make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, the argument becomes louder and louder that JB should win. That should be the case. John, are we talking about the Jarrett Allen trip on Asar? Yeah, we were, John. We just covered that. That could have been a very pivotal moment for the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, they could have been one more possession.
For sure.
And, the game was tied. They could have possibly done something.
True.
Who knows? Again, they do kind of lag on offense, but, if they got Cade the ball in that moment, then he probably could have done something. But that's the thing, right? These no calls, and there's been a lot of really weird no calls in this NBA playoff run so far. Not just for the Detroit Pistons, but for almost every single series so far. I think this was one really hilarious moment in the Timberwolves versus Spurs game. I think it was like Nas Reed managed to blow by his defender. I think it might have been. Was it Dylan Harper, I believe?
Yeah.
And he was literally grabbing him.
Yeah,
by
I
his
saw
shirt.
that.
You
Yeah,
saw that?
I saw that.
almost stripping him naked.
Exactly. We've gotten a very one thing I said, Raf, and to everybody watching, I think we can all agree with this sentiment, right? 90s people make such a big fuss about the lack of physicality in the NBA.
Yeah.
And then we all just wait for the playoffs. For people like myself, yourself watching this live, Raf, we all keep waiting for the playoffs, and then we kind of just take these little tidbits that happen in the game, these little minutia moments. We take them, we frame them. Not frame them. We take them, we splice them. It's about 5 seconds, and we could probably end up this year with about, not even this year, probably the past 5 years. We probably end up in a singular season. We can collate that in one playoff series. These little 5-second clips. We'll probably have 100 to smack in the faces of these 90s fools who think there's no physicality in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I have always been firm on my stand with this, that there is a lot of physicality in the NBA. It's just not what you saw before.
Yeah.
We talked about that. I think we talked about this on this show. I want everybody watching here to not be a casual. So when you go to your friend groups, you have your conversations with them, this is exactly what you tell them that will make you sound like a genius. But I bet a lot of you already watching my lives, having followed me for so long, you already know this, and you know because Raph is also a pretty deep hoop head. You are watching a different version of physicality. In the 90s, a lot of that physicality was dictated by the offense. What do I mean? Because nobody could shoot a lick in the 90s. They were all built like steroidal, muscle-bound football players.
Mm-hmm.
They were banging bodies. Pause. They were hitting each other. They were getting physical. They were backing down in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Key point, pay attention to detail. That's what I always tell everybody who comes on my live. When we watch games, when we review games, PBA, NBA, hanapin nyo yung detail. Who was the best point guard in the 90s? When we talk about pace and space, why were the 90s so low scoring? Why are there so many questions about whether or not there was actual... No, there was no defense the way you think defense should be played. JJ Redick was right. They just foul harder. They just foul harder. They play defense. My spit's flying everywhere now. I gotta swallow it more. Alluding now to my point about the offense. Look at your favorite point guards from the 90s. Look how they bring the basketball up compared to how they bring the basketball up now. What do you see as a very, very important observation? Let me ask you, Ref. Think about it, and I've watched so many. Nobody can ever tell me, you weren't there to watch the games. I am not stupid. I have eyes. I've watched a lot of hardwood classic games. I've watched a lot of 90s games, some NBA's greatest games. I go on the NBA Live app or NBA app to look for these games, to understand better, to logically ingrain into my own brain what the hell people are talking about. But what is the number one thing you see? This is a minute example. I'm going to get to a bunch of more, but let's talk about this real quick before we move on to the Western Conference playoffs.
Up, right?
I'm just simply asking, y'all in the comments, let me know, what's the one thing you observe about 90s point guards, the way they bring the ball up?
I actually don't remember the last time I watched a '90s game. Okay, well, I don't think I have one a thought in my mind at the moment.
Somebody actually answered it terrifically in the comments. Marky Buff, exactly. They are backing you down 94 feet. Look how they bring the ball up.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How are they supposed to? They're this the whole time. With one hand. I bet you 80% of the point guards in the 90s can't go left. Now, that's the first piece of your offense. Add to the fact that this was not the most skilled era of basketball. That's a fact. You can't convince me Charles Smith could shoot, that Xavier McDaniel was an efficient scorer, that Irvin Johnson on the Seattle Sonics had an effective low post game or game 15 feet from the basket? You cannot. You can't convince me that Hersey Hawkins was the best shooter on earth. No. So all of them were downhill. A lot of them would attack the basket. What happened? What did 90s people got so used to seeing, Raph? Impact in midair.
Yeah.
That's what you kept seeing. Add to the fact that the NBA wouldn't let you double team anybody. This was part of the Jordan rules. They wouldn't let you double team MJ. It was all one-on-one. And who was defending MJ? Jeff Hornacek, Byron Russell, Gary Payton, who was half his flipping size. Let's get that out of the way, boys and girls. I'm going to spit everywhere now. But, so a lot of the physicality, again, was dictated by the offense, right? Hard driving, hard attacking, big men who wanted to impose their will in the paint. That's what 90s people are used to when you're talking about physicality. Now, it's a different version. You're seeing guys grab, harass, rape Stephen Curry. Every time he comes off a floppy action, double screen action, elevator by the baseline to the top of the key. You're seeing them bump, hit LeBron James, elbow, harass. There's a very good video out in the internet. We have so much access to information that I find it so disingenuous talking to 90s obsessed fools who simply ride on that because they don't want their whole idea of basketball to be shattered into minutia pieces. There's this video of Stephon Castle being bumped by Randall, bumped by JD. He goes straight to the paint, bumped again. No foul until Wemby, who comes in flying, he gets fouled. Not Castle. Wemby got fouled. I'm telling you 100% that there is a lot more physicality in today's NBA. You just don't like it, 90s old heads who discovered Facebook and Twitter. You just don't like it because there's no more. We don't, ESPN, you know what they showed like in the 2000s, 90s, 2000s, Raph? It was fights.
Yeah.
People fighting.
Yeah. They want another Rumble in the Palace.
We had to stop that after 2003. You know how stupid it is when you go online and you're a drunk hippie or you're a drunk hillbilly. You're watching the NBA and the one thing you want to see is for them to fight. We have the UFC, the WWE, boxing, but you tune into the NBA. You retarded, half-minded fool for a fight? I need to breathe, man. You go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is really something that they dismiss the level of physicality in the game right now. This is something I think just about anybody with two eyes will be able to tell you. The games are physical. And in fact, one of the things that people are complaining about right now is that they're letting them get away with too much physicality. Or at the very least, certain teams are getting away with too much physicality.
Goddamn, John. I can't calm down yet, John, because this is an atrocity. This is an absolute... You know what frustrates me so, Raph, about having these conversations with 90s people who are so obsessed with making, again, the 90s the best era of freaking basketball? No, it was not. No, it was not the best era of basketball. I'm on the record saying that now. There is a lot more physicality. But you know, these guys are like, oh, the NBA, oh, now they're grabbing, they're holding, etc. You can't have it both ways. You realize that, right? You can't have it ways where if you want a level of physicality, when the physicality is now there, and if it's against your team, you're like, where's the foul? Your team just did it. We didn't call a foul down there. Now you're mad.
Yeah. You can tell that this is something that really gets Javit going.
I am on the record, folks. I never duck smoke. You want this? Come get it. If you're a 90s defender, bar for bar, if we have to go all afternoon, I have receipts. I've done the research. I can make a thesis paper about it. You can read how the 90s were not the era that you were sold. It was Michael Jordan. It was Gatorade commercials. It was McDonald's and little happy bags of McMeals.
Yeah.
McMeals, what are they called? Happy Meals.
Happy Meals.
That's what you were sold and led to believe. But now we have social media, so guys like myself and Raph can go on a radio show. Y'all can enjoy me talking about this BS. I'm seeing stars, right? Wait.
Oh. Get some air. But yeah, that's the thing, right? That's the thing, guys. There is physicality in the game. it's most definitely there. In fact, people only notice the physicality in the game when it's happening against their team, when it's happening against the teams they're cheering for. But when it's happening against the other team, they're like, nothing's happening there. No, it's a. And that's why I swear that the Oklahoma City fan base right now is one of the most annoying fan bases for me personally.
Yeah.
Because when you get really physical against the Oklahoma City Thunder and there's no calls, they're like, "Oh, where's the foul? Where's the foul?" But then when Lou Dort and Alex Caruso are literally playing WWE against the best offensive player on the other team, they're like, nothing wrong there. It's just physical basketball. Nothing wrong there.
It's so disingenuous, Raph.
Yeah.
I can't have. You do not want me in a beer house or anywhere near, and then the 90s guy is already drunk, and I'm drunk. It's not gonna end well. This is me sober.
Yeah.
This is me sober. Like, you're not. It's not gonna end well. But let me go to the comment section. Marky Buff. That was. See, I love the people that are on my TikTok. I'll tell you, my TikTok guys, right now. All my TikTok guys. Y'all are the ones who watch the videos, ingest everything that the comments from both the people who comment in the comment section and what we have to say on the lives, right? You ingest it, you digest it, you think. People on my Facebook are rabid. They're like rabies infested fools. Legit. No, I'm being serious because they don't watch the videos. They don't digest the information. They just pick apart things like I say in a vacuum, and then they start reacting. I was like, again, I talked about Bol. I simply said, this was the gist of one of my conversations about Bol, Raph, right?
Yeah.
I know like we're deviating and going different directions, but this is now the show. It's now the show, guys.
Yeah.
So I simply said, a lot of you saw that video, I'm sure. I said, there's a problem with the coaching staff and how they're playing Bol. They can play a conventional lineup, which they actually have the ability to if they want to win more games. Because guys like R.R. Pagoy, Jordan Heading, Calvin Oftana, Reynam Batak are not Jason Castro. They're not used to being in a position where they have to actively do the things that a big man would do because now it's the requirement. Because they're playing a lot of small ball. Some idiots went online because I said, verbatim, I said, I'm not going to be the one to ever go out in the open and question somebody's character if I've never met them, if I don't know them. So for people to go out in the open and say Bol is a bad person, I think you're wrong. That's a horrible take. I think that the coaching staff have not put their players in a proper position where it's difficult to play with Bol because Bol is a perimeter player.
Yeah.
So the whole pin is on the coaching staff to figure this out for the entire Talking Text Tropang team. That is a fair take. But some idiots went online and said, well, now I question your character. I'm like, well, troll, welcome to me lighting you up in the most epic fashion possible. You idiot. You know what? You're not an idiot. Calling you an idiot is an insult to idiots because an idiot would know the difference. My God. All right.
Yeah.
Lots of comments now. Lots of comments. Let me go on this real quick, Raph, before we go to the Western Conference. By the way, quick take for everybody. Cavs Pistons. Who wins?
Ooh, Cavs Pistons. Yeah, right now I'm kind of leading in favor of the Cavs.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. James, I feel it. I can feel it like here. Wherever this is.
Feel it in my bones.
Well, this is my breasts.
Yeah, I feel it in my titties. Yeah.
Right there. It's like, boop. Right. We are weird. This show is getting weird.
It's just because that one guy was here asking earlier if you're.
How do we get? Yeah, no, I'm not gay. Very, very straight. I'm married. But how did we get here? What road did we go down?
Yeah.
But going back, I feel it. James Harden. He's got so much momentum heading into this.
Yeah.
Now I'm not one to ever use aesthetic metrics per se or aesthetic description. I'm not like the guy who keeps saying he looks the part, he's hungrier, because those are stupid to me.
Yeah, no,
They're very stupid things to say. Why do I think those are stupid things to say? When you say somebody's hungrier, don't you think the other guy's hungrier too?
Yeah.
How do you measure starvation?
Yeah.
In a basketball sense, if that makes sense to everybody watching, right?
Yeah. Everybody wants to win.
Everybody wants to win.
Yeah.
But it's a collation of different things. It's the players' abilities, it's the coaching staff's game planning, and the players' attention to detail and executing those game plans.
Yeah.
If you've ever played basketball, to a lot of the fans that are watching right now on Facebook, etc., if you've ever played basketball, it almost always comes down to the players, their commitment to winning, their commitment to conditioning, their commitment to their style of play, their commitment to their game. Comes down to game planning. The execution, is it working? Can we continue to exploit it throughout the entire game? It comes down to not being afraid of the moments, for example, where the way I quantify that is you still having the focus to execute down the stretch. I believe I believe the Cleveland Cavaliers, with how they won game number 5, we almost always, for me, what's important, Raph, and I'll let you dive in. What's important for me when you're talking about from game to game is, did you find something in the previous game that the other team could not figure out?
Yeah.
And I think the Cleveland Cavaliers had that figured out, where
Yeah.
when James Harden has the basketball, what do? Donovan Mitchell spaces out. We give him room to operate. We always give him a dunker spot option, where it's Evan Mobley, it's Jarrett Allen, and all they have to do is operate off of that. And the primary option is always to go through Donovan Mitchell first. When Donovan Mitchell, humble as he is, as great as he has been, when he realizes that I cannot score in this set or off of this action, I give it to James, and James will be Mr. Bailout. That has worked for them. The Detroit Pistons, and the key thing there is removing Asar Thompson from the defensive coverage if you are the Cleveland Cavaliers. Whoever Asar Thompson is guarding, we go the other way.
Yeah.
We're going to be very smart about this. When the shot clock is winding down, all right, let's rely on greatness and ability. But it's been very key for them to do one of those couple of things. Remove Asar Thompson from whomever is trying to attack. If we're gonna have Asar Thompson on us, we're gonna make him work.
Yeah.
That's the most we can do. Or that's it. Like, if he's gonna be everywhere, let him be everywhere. But we're gonna make him work. And whoever is guarding 1-on-1, avoid that. Go the other direction. You have 2 guys anyway. You can't split him apart, right? And make him 2. Ironically, you can, because Amen is there, but he's in Houston, right? But I do believe the Cleveland Cavaliers have a lot of momentum heading into this one, because if it's going to come down again to Cade Cunningham having to put up a Herculean effort just for them to win, I think he might be gassed out. I think Cleveland sees this. In Game 6, we're going to see them exploit that matchup a little bit more with Cade Cunningham. Whoever's guarding him, they're going to send doubles. They're going to force the ball out of his hands. They're going to put Jalen Duren in scoring situations in Game 6. And this could be Cleveland, but it's going to be a tight one.
Yeah. I definitely can. I feel like Game 6, it's definitely going to go Cleveland's way. Just from outside of the momentum standpoint, you're right in saying that it feels like they've figured them out. And Detroit hasn't been able to make that adjustment in order to defend home court in Game 5. That's why I was saying, whoever drops the ball first, it feels like it's kind of over for you. So it's on them. It's really on Detroit right now to respond. And I'm not liking their chances, just because again, so Cade Cunningham centric.
Yeah.
It's so hard for anybody else to step up. Tobias was there for them to start things off, but it feels like he's kind of cooled down a bit.
He has.
And
Jenkins is there.
Yeah, Jenkins is there, but like outside of that,
Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, the Cavs also have a lot of people stepping up for them as well.
Yeah.
Max Strus has been
terrific
for
Absolutely
them.
Terrific.
Like making shots when he's open, getting into the lanes, and then hitting those tough floaters as well. So this is the thing: who can step up for Detroit versus who can step up for the Cavs? And I'm leaning more in favor of the Cavs right now. And I think even if Cade gives them a Herculean effort, like you said, in Game 6, I feel like come Game 7, who knows? He might be too gassed out.
He might be tired.
Yeah,
it's been an exhausting playoffs.
Yeah, it's been an You guys had to come back down 3-1 already.
Correct, against the Magic.
And that was a tough fought series.
That was a hell of a series.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame Cade if he just collapsed of exhaustion come Game 6, because it's been that rough for you guys. You weren't able to, put down the Magic quickly. And now you guys are in a situation where your star player is potentially gassed. So, you know what? I'm not liking your chances.
You know what I'm not counting out? A big game from Jalen Duren. Because this might be the one where he finally figures it out. You always get one. We haven't had Jalen Duren get one. This could be the one.
No.
Maybe. Hold on.
No, hopefully. If you're a Detroit fan, then you're hoping that Jalen Duren figures something out, because man, has he looked horrible these past 3 games. Like,
he has been.
Like 2 games where he got only 2 rebounds, and in the other game he only got 4. Like, so every single time less than 5 rebounds. And you're the starting center. Like, what happened, bro?
I would ask the same question again to Triple J. You're 7 foot tall. How the hell? Bro, I average more rebounds than you. What the fuck? You kidding me? All right.
Well, you're not playing against guys as tall as he is. So.
Well, that's also true. Okay, couple of comments. Interesting one. LeBron versus Cayetano from RJ. What?
What is
going on in the comments?
Why?
No idea why LeBron versus Alan Peter Cayetano. It's weird, man. Ito yon. Cayetano. Why?
I'm just trying to picture it out right now, and all I can see is Cayetano getting bodied, bro.
He get bodied by you or me.
Yeah.
He's not physically of that stature, man.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Yeah, but if we're talking like senator or whatever, he probably smoke us. Ito yun. Imagine telling me in 2010s that in 2026 a team with Harden is considered a Cinderella run in the playoffs.
Oh,
Good take.
Yeah,
Very good
yeah,
take. Very
yeah,
good take. Very
that-
fair take.
That is. It's really kind of sad as well how far James has fallen.
Yeah.
Because
I
this,
wouldn't say, yeah.
he
kinda
has fallen.
off.
He has fallen.
Yeah,
He
it's
has
a bit.
fallen off a lot because
Yeah.
he used to be the guy, the face of the league.
Yeah.
In a way, in the later years of LeBron's
Career.
run with Cleveland, it was really looking like this is James Harden's league type of thing.
2018 to like 2020. That was
Yeah.
like, oh wow, James Harden
Yeah.
averaging like 60 point, getting a 60-point triple double, all
Yeah.
that. So that's why I never discount James Harden because
Mhm.
oftentimes we look at like the worst and the best of their career. That's how I normally would
Yeah.
assess any kind of player, right? The worst of him isn't that bad. It's not like we're looking at Ben Simmons. It's not Ben Simmons bad where
Yeah.
he's just robbing teams of money now, faking like he's going to be good and then he's not.
Yeah.
But the prime James Harden he was an MVP. He was a Chris Paul healthy. He was a healthy Chris Paul away from a possible NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So he was great, but
I'd argue that they could have potentially won that too.
they could have. I
Yeah.
genuinely believe that James Harden was of that stature and nature, but I digress.
Mm.
I want you to pronounce this username. I'll spell it out.
All right.
Kneeeeega.
Okay.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
Niga.
Yeah. This man has knees.
Shut up.
That's a really long knee, by the way.
Oh,
That's a really
yeah,
long
so
knee.
funny. Okay, John, I don't think they'll call that ticky-tack foul at the end of the game, the Asar Thompson and Jarrett Allen situation. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. A lot of times late in the fourth quarter, they let a lot of stuff go. Unless
that
it's
is
clear as
true.
day. You know the one thing they won't let go is a shooting foul, a legit hard shoot. If you drive to the basket, you're not going to get a foul call. But if you get fouled on a jumper, they're going to call that. Anything
Yeah.
else, they will freaking allow. I've seen it every game I've almost watched from 2020 downwards. It's like, if you want to hit somebody, you want to punch somebody, you can get away with it in the fourth because they won't call it.
Yeah. Almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Beasley got whacked in the head, and
For
they
sure.
didn't call it.
They didn't. See, there's so
Yeah.
many, there's a lot of discrepancies. sometimes.
There's a lot of. It's just really. Yeah. It gets really
You
weird
don't
in the
even know
fourth.
anymore.
Yeah.
it gets weird in the fourth.
Yeah. It gets weird in the fourth. That's it.
Chaco, Cavs or Detroit can't beat the Knicks.
Cavs or Detroit can't beat the Knicks.
Actually,
Actually,
I'm in agreement with that. That could be true.
I do feel that as well. I think somebody else called it a while back as well.
Yeah.
Like when they were giving their predictions for the start of the playoffs, they're like, it looks like in the East, best bet to make it out of the East is the Knicks.
Knicks. I had the Knicks too.
Yeah, and it's really looking like it in terms of offense and defense. I think the Knicks have it all.
True.
And they've been the most consistent team in the playoffs as well for the East.
Well, they have the defensive versatility to be able to pull off what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they also have the perimeter presence to shut. Because in a very perimeter-oriented league, they have the tools to stop that.
Yeah.
Mikael Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride. And they can cover Brunson. Brunson doesn't need to try so hard on defense because
Yeah, true.
they also have a Mitchell Robinson who's a very capable defender. And a Karl Anthony Towns who, by the way, a couple of years ago when he was on the Minnesota Timberwolves, he was one of the best paint defenders against Nikola Jokic
Yeah.
when he had that combination with him and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to dismiss sometimes Karl Anthony Towns as a bad defender because we don't really see him in a lot of defensive possessions where he shines.
Yeah.
But because of his great help defense, because of his awareness, because he takes up so much space in that paint, and it makes it difficult for players going in that paint to score, that's all he really needs to do. He's not going to block shots. He's not going to play a lot of one-on-one because that's not what their defense is all about. Because if also you're the coaching staff of the Knicks, you know that's not his strength.
Yeah.
So kudos to the New York Knicks coaching staff for figuring that out.
Yeah. I mean, just being lengthy is enough to really
Correct.
make things hard for a lot of people.
Correct.
I think it's been kind of. I mean, I think a lot of people have come to really value length
Yeah.
very well. That's why the Celtics for a while were looking for really lengthy type of forwards. That's why they got Tatum,
Brown.
who's Tatum, Brown. They're all good defenders,
Correct.
and they're lengthy as well. Tatum's got really long arms. Mikael Bridges as well. So
long as shoot.
Yeah, this guy has
Legs that reached down to his knees just
Yeah.
by standing up.
basically is he's like a slender man in a lot of ways, and
A slender man with a duck face.
yeah, and probably the biggest problem for Mikael this run with the Knicks was really when he changed his shooting form, and it just kind of threw him off a whack.
We got it
for a
back
while.
though.
Yeah, but
got it
he got it back
Yeah,
recently.
He went back with the old one.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, this isn't working. I'm going
Yeah,
back
I'm
to
going
the
with
other
the old
one.
one.
I don't know why he changed it in the first place.
I think it was trying to find a rhythm. Sometimes because I've seen like players' shot evolve
Yeah.
as they progress. So they have like they go from here, further than here, they put it here. So
Yeah. There is that.
Yeah.
Pero his change shot looked very awkward.
he has really long arms. So
Yeah.
No, because he was like it was trying to slingshot it upwards.
Uh-huh.
Like he was trying to slingshot it and fire it. The
Yeah.
problem is your wrists. Let me see if I get it up here. Your wrist guys are like so loaded. You're trying to bring the ball up here, right? So it's
Uh-huh.
like trying to like slingshot it here compared to his old shot, which was like he would just fire it up here.
Uh-huh.
Now the range of motion for him to generate power is like a little bit limited, but then he probably forgot like he didn't need it to be. He didn't need to like even gain power. Whoever taught him to shoot, like he should be fired because he was already good here. He was a very good shooter in Phoenix.
He was.
Yeah, I was like, what the
He
hell?
was shooting 40%.
Correct. And then when he went to Brooklyn, it was a better scorer. We saw Mikal Bridges. We thought like it was gonna be a superstar type. And then in New York, he kind of slingshot it
Yeah.
and he would fire. That's why it was always short
Yeah.
because it was
Momentum.
When it was here, it was follow through. Now it's here, and now you have like a second, like a half a second to reload and fire. So
Yeah.
it was a little weird.
Yeah, and if you're not used to that type of motion, I mean, there have been really good
Yeah.
shooters in the history of the NBA with that type of slingshot motion, like two-shot motion, where
Yeah.
it really like
Ray
go
Allen.
up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray Allen was
Michael Redd for sure.
but Ray Allen was also really quick with his release. So
Well, he teaches people every time. If you want a really good example of good shooting mechanics, Ray Allen, Klay Thompson, these guys have it down to a T where the ball, it makes sense. When you jump, you kind of want it to like go here and then out.
yeah, basically.
But you don't want it to be like you're hitching. Sometimes
Uh-huh.
people hitch.
Yeah.
I'm not a shooting coach, but that's what I read, and it works pretty well.
Yeah. But that's the thing, right? As long as you're really used to that kind of motion, even the two-shot motion. I mean, Larry Bird is considered
yeah.
one of the greatest, and
He's right behind.
he's got it right behind his head.
Correct.
So if you're used to that type of shooting motion, then it should be fine. But he wasn't,
Yeah.
and he was trying to get into that.
It was awkward watching him miss so many shots because you
Yeah.
know he can make those.
Yeah, and it's
weird.
Actually, it wasn't just awkward watching him miss those shots. It was awkward watching him pull it up, and it's just like whoa.
It's icky.
Yeah.
All right. Luffy Mo, do you believe, sir, that no one can guard or stop Wemby? Individually, maybe not.
It's
so hard.
it's very hard, but I think really, I mean, then again, it's not like they're forcing Wemby to be a low post scorer as well, which is arguably where he's lacking right now. He just needs a skyhook. Like, work on that skyhook, man.
Probably.
I don't think anybody would be able to block your skyhook.
Skyhook?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he had a skyhook? My God.
Yeah, left,
That's
right.
like 36,000 points in like 4 years.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Kareem's right. Like, these players want flash more than anything these days.
Yeah.
And
They're not willing to work on these
Yeah.
skyhooks, hook shots,
Yeah.
fundamentals. They're not
yeah,
willing to.
and it should be a relatively easy thing to work on as well. Like, Kareem's still willing to give you guys pointers, by the way.
I wish somebody would go to Kareem.
Yeah, he's just like, nobody's come to me. Nobody wants to learn it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But like Wemby, especially because you do have trouble pushing people down in the paint.
You might as well.
You might as well, because you have the length, and if you have and I do believe he also has good touch. I think Wemby has good touch. So can you imagine that 8-foot wingspan, and he's just like,
How do you? It's a hard shot.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna keep guys. I gotta get all these comments out of the way, Raph. We'll do a little quick fire here. All right. Wolves or Spurs?
Spurs. Yeah. You were right. It's really looking like Spurs in 6. Yeah. But I would make the argument that I was also right in saying Spurs in 5. Yeah. It's just if Wemby didn't get thrown out of that game.
Yeah.
That would have been Spurs. That would have been Spurs in 5 for sure.
For sure. Okay, John. Physicality is still there in the 90s. Players just fouled hard. Correct. We talked about that. Marky Buff. Some big men in the 90s will be straight cut out from an NBA team now. Some big men from the 90s wouldn't make it to their college teams. I swear.
Yeah.
Should the NBA remove the defensive 3-second rule?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. No,
I think it keeps it fair and honest. Yeah. I already like it where it's at.
Yeah.
If we keep letting them play zone and Rudy Gobert gets to sit in the paint, he will win like 5 more depoys, guys.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah. Also, offensive 3-second rule. You should keep that.
Keep that.
And the 5-second back to the basket rule. I think that's something that actually people forget to call every now and then.
And the flopping rule. And the flopping rule.
And the flopping rule, of course.
They keep forgetting to
call that.
It's
but
ridiculous.
I still remember there was like this one. This happened like 2018, I believe, the 2018 season or 2017 season, where Giannis was backing somebody down for like 6 seconds back to the basket. They didn't call it. And then he managed to get like a mid-range shot for the game.
Jesus.
And then people were just like, 5-second rule!
Didn't we invent this call for a reason?
Yeah.
For sure.
There's so many rules in the NBA now. I feel like the referees themselves forget, like, what am I supposed to... What
was I going to call again? Was it counting? Oh, I had to count, right?
Yeah. It gets pretty funny. I feel like there's a lot of rules that they kind of miss in the heat of the moment type situations because of how uncommon they are already as well.
Yeah.
I mean, people have gotten good at like really understanding the rules and understanding what they can and can't get away with.
Yeah.
It's just that sometimes people forget.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. When you're talking about like they forget. Sorry, Marky Buff answered one of my biggest things earlier about the 90s. Mark Jackson back down dribble from 94 feet. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wala text yung rider kasi lalaki ako. What a weird username. LeBron got swept. Why are we even here?
Yeah.
Okay. Hater.
LeBron got swept. Therefore, stop watching the NBA.
Wow. Is that obsessive? My God. Jordan ethics. What are we doing?
I don't understand that mindset. I thought you hate LeBron.
So now you're watching him pass or fail? What is wrong with you people? Obsessed much? Ew. All right. John, now imagine LeBron or Giannis in the 90s. They would have built a statue mid-career. Yep.
Yeah.
This is weird. Kindra. Guy Soto versus Jordan. Which Jordan? Jordan Heading? Michael Jordan? Check my edit. I got you. John, calm down. I think I've calmed down, John.
Yeah.
I had to take a deep breath. I was sweating too.
Yeah,
that was a lot to get out.
It felt like the room got hot.
It did. And we had to like up and down the windows. A lot more like, this isn't even close.
Yeah.
The wind coming in.
Yeah.
All right. Again, quick fire with all these because there's like 30 messages I got to get to.
See, go.
The 90s is the most overhyped era ever. The skills are mid, players are just hacking. Can we agree? Today's era is the most skilled b-ball wise. Ito yun. I can agree to that.
Yeah.
John, Jazz scored 54 total points in a finals game. Atrocious to watch. I'm not sure if that's true, but it sounds like it might be true. I gotta look that up. But that is atrocious to watch. Oh crap! I skipped through like so many. Wait.
Wait, how much was that? 54 points in a finals game?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
wow.
need to fact check that though. Hold on.
That-
Okay, here we go. Now I'm back. Players are just hacking. Today's era. Love that. Ito yun. Loving 90s era is fine and all, especially the nostalgia, but let's not be blind. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Fix your eyesight, guys. Marky Buff. Remember the Pacers and the Pistons in 2000s with the 69-67 final score in the playoffs? Yep. That was actually the best era for defense. Statistically and realistically, that was the best era for defense, Marky Buff. But in the PBA 90s, guys are more athletic. Yeah, what happened to the athleticism of the PBA? Like, I see more dunking in the MPBL by locals. No, that's true. That's true. It's weird.
Maybe they just got better at defending?
Probably. I don't think so. John, Max Strus' defense has been phenomenal. Yep, he's been great.
Yeah.
John, again, it has been up and down for the Pistons the whole playoffs. Cavs should finish them off. Yeah, for sure. Wanya, thoughts on Spurs-Wolves matchup, sir? Will it be over tomorrow? We'll talk about that in a bit. We'll deep dive into it. John, regardless, Knicks will win the East. Marky Buff, Reed over Duran. Bakugo online. What's up, Bakugo? Sorry, it was like a flood of comments and we had to cover a bunch of things. Harden step back is the most unguardable move in 2010s.
It was.
It was crazy unguardable.
Yeah, nobody was stopping that.
Nah.
Especially because, he had that little...
He had that little, like, cha-cha-cha.
Yeah, cha-cha-cha.
That made it so confusing, yeah.
Yeah, that made it hard to read, and a lot of people were like, yo, that's a travel.
And it's not a travel. Because it was like... Detail. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
Username, a huge fan of Harden, but he chokes in do or die games. I hope he finally gets his shit together. We all do. We all do for his sake.
If you're a fan of basketball, you want him to.
Yeah. Ito yun, I would like for the Spurs to win the NBA Finals. I know a lot. Again, I stand by this a lot where I know you're a hoop head if you're a fan of the Spurs and you've been a fan of the Spurs since Ginobili, Parker, Bowen, Nazir Mohammed, Duncan, Oberto. If you know those guys, Walter Arman, you know those guys? I know you're a hoop head. John, one to bring back. Sleeve jerseys or the NBA trophy in the middle of the court in the finals. The NBA trophy in the middle of the court in the finals. Not even close, God. It's not a debate.
Yeah, it's not a debate. Bring back the trophy.
Bring back the trophy, man. It got me in such a feel when I'd watch the NBA finals.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know it's the NBA finals.
Yeah. It was something that immediately let you know you gotta watch this game.
True.
This is something. This is for all the chips. This is what the entire regular season all comes down to. These last 7 games or
Correct.
so.
And you knew that, because again, aesthetically, you were like, oh, it's NBA Finals.
Yeah, exactly. And then the fact that they removed that, and they were, what was their justification for it?
No, they last year they just had it like CGI'd onto the floor.
Yeah, there was that.
That was so stupid. You know we can tell it's CGI, right? It's cheap as hell.
Yeah, just
put the paint back.
Put it there.
Put the sticker back.
What's
Jesus,
happening?
what's wrong with that?
Budget cuts? What is this?
You just signed a $1 billion deal with Amazon Prime with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Now is the time to be cheap. Really?
Yeah.
My God.
I don't believe you guys.
For sure.
Put it down there. Put it down
Just
there.
put it down
Please.
there. It's a sticker.
Please. It's just a sticker. Come on.
Ito Yun agrees with us. I personally don't like the sleeve jerseys. Yeah, because...
Yeah, I think a lot of people complained about it too.
Yeah, I remember LeBron tried to rip it apart.
Yeah, he did. He was just like,
what is this?
I'm not shooting well.
Yeah, no, because there is a restriction that
Yeah.
if you've been playing with it your whole career,
Yeah, you're not used to it.
you're good. But a lot of players don't want that restriction in movement. So I get it. I get it.
I mean, LeBron did end up like having some historic games in the finals with those sleeve jerseys.
Well, you kind of have to. He had to. Like, you
Yeah.
know what? Stop complaining. We're all wearing it.
You know? Yeah, it's just
That's
like
the whole thing.
I got no choice. I got to do this.
I got it. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Underrated shooter Danny Granger from ArchyBuff. True. Chernobyl. Where can I watch or listen? You can watch here on OnQ Sports and Media. We're live on TMC 105.1. All our available socials: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook,
Tops Media Center.
Tops Media Center, and according to Raf, when the radio comes back on, you can listen to all this lovable voices on your radio. It's like 3 p.m. There's horrendous traffic because our government sucks. You know, you can listen to us. You can listen to me and Raf rant.
Yeah.
You can listen to me pop a vein in my neck.
Really had to sprinkle that insult in there, huh?
Yeah, we just had to it was like a little subtle shot for everybody out there, right? Ito yun. Imagine Wemby with Curry shooting. Man, he'd be Jesus Christ.
I mean, we could kind of imagine that. He's a decent enough three-point shooter. And if he gets better at it, I'd definitely say so. But what I really want to see him improve on is that post game. Just a bit more. Because Wemby's a good enough mid-range three-point shooter.
Yeah.
He's got that outside game. It's really the interior where he needs to be he needs to have like a go-to move where he's posting somebody up and
comfortable.
Yeah, and he's
But he's
comfortable
super young.
doing it. Yeah,
He's
then again, he's super young. I'm hoping he'll get there. KG already taught him how to elbow people, so who knows?
I like that. Physicality. You got to teach these young kids how to play.
Yeah.
Good question from John. Ito yun. How about nickname jerseys?
Nickname jerseys.
For a time. Like January,
I
rock with it. But not the whole time because it's weird.
You need to be able to also, especially for casual fans, actually be able to identify these players for their real name.
Yeah.
Because some of them also have really weird nicknames, like Cum Bucket. Like
that's not safe for children.
Like who gave him that nickname?
It's terrible.
And why did it stick?
It did stick.
It's like they just wanted to make fun of him at that point.
I know. Well, the Warriors are. I know. Havs, are you on? Javi Palanya, are you on, bro? Don't hide now. I've been talking about the '90s, bro. This is not. Don't duck the smoke. Don't duck my smoke now. All right. Sorry. Imagine Peja Stojakovic in today's game.
Ooh.
Well, he was pretty good. It was already pretty good in a time where they didn't really actively defend the three-point line.
Yeah.
So to see him and what he would be able to do in this era, I'd be very interested to see if he had a mid-range game or a layup or an attack to the basket kind of game. I'd be curious to see that.
Peja had good game.
He had a good game. I love him too. Hold on. I'm almost done because there's a lot. Marky Ball, FIBA don't have defensive 3 seconds. That's why it's so hard to score in FIBA. I personally think like when Shea, all these guys were thrust into the FIBA spotlight, they were like, whoa, the fouls are different. There's a guy constantly in the paint. It's a little challenging.
Yeah.
Marky Buff, Spurs great. Rasho Nesterovic. My God, that's a good pull. Kevin Willis was on that team. At some point, Raph and I will do EBK and we'll figure out, name a team. We'll start going down listing players. NBA Finals team intro with flamethrowers. Yeah. You know how they do the entrance?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it was always a part of the program that you'd be able to see. They do the entrance of the players, and it was like this really cool intro. It's like WWE style.
Yeah, yeah, and then there's like pyro works going off.
What happened to that? I don't know.
I don't know. They've lost the showmanship of it all.
I mean, you love the showmanship of it all,
Yeah,
because it gave you that feel.
Yeah, it gave you it really set aside the postseason from the regular
season.
I just realized that's a fire down there. I was like wondering what that dark smoke is. It's a fire. There's a fire down.
I hope they figure it out.
I hope everything's
picks it up. Yeah.
fine down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
John, players slipping, I think. LOL. NBA Finals team. Sorry, but they have NBA Cup courts. See, that's the irony.
Yeah, like I don't understand.
Nobody cares about the NBA Cup compared to the NBA Finals.
Compared to the NBA Finals, and I don't understand how they're able to give you that type of court layout, but they can't put a sticker of a trophy right there in the middle. Like, it's such a small difference, but it makes a huge difference for the viewer. And this is something that fans are actively asking for. So why not give it to them?
True.
It's not like we're asking you to make, bringing guns into the NBA legal.
Oh my God. No.
We're just asking for a very simple thing. We're not gonna
put the sticker back.
Yeah, we're not gonna like. What do we have to do in order to be heard? Like, do we have to be like the WNBA fans who are throwing dildos onto the court?
Oh my God. Yeah. That's a dope one. Throw dildos out there. That's just so funny, man. I remember when. I'll go and let you go, but
yeah.
Sorry, the WNBA has been great. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, because I covered them for a while, and I love the progression. My goat for the WNBA will always and forever be Maya Moore. My favorite player in WNBA history, believe it or not, is Nikki Teasley.
I'm not familiar with Nikki Teasley.
Bro,
yeah, I'm relatively new to the WNBA.
When I tell you I love basketball and I followed basketball, because my dad was like, I like the Lakers, I'm going to like the Sparks. And no relation to the actual fandom.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was like, all right, let's watch the Sparks. And this was like 2000 to 2003 when the Sparks were winning so much. It was Lisa Leslie, arguably the best WNBA big woman ever.
Yeah.
Big. See, it sounds insulting when I say big woman, right?
No.
But we're talking about her in a basketball sense.
We're talking about
and
her
they
position.
Have to be called bigs. They're bigs.
Yeah, they're bigs.
So one of the best WNBA big women ever. And Nikki Teasley was her point guard, and she was street with it. She was so good, great, crispy handle, like a chocolate Jason Williams. She was so good. I absolutely loved her. And other women that I love, Dawn Staley, Tisha Pinachero was one of my favorites. Raph, my God, she was also like Jason Williams with it. She was great with the basketball. And one of my favorites growing up was Becky Hammon. Becky Hammon, current coach of the San Antonio. I think she coached the Spurs for a little bit. She was an assistant to Greg Pop.
And then I think she stepped into the head coach position for a while as well.
Correct. And again, Maya Moore is my favorite because I thought the WNBA was entering its Jordan era.
With Maya?
She won 4 championships in 8 years.
Yeah. And she was almost always close to reaching the finals, right?
Correct. And against great comp. That was
true.
great comp. Her Minnesota Lynx team with Simone Augustus, herself, I think it was Lindsay Whalen. I can't remember. A really big, scary one. Sylvia Fowles. So again, when I tell you I know hoops, bro, don't test me. I got you.
Yeah, I only really caught up to the WNBA, and I think the final 2 championship runs of Maya Moore, I believe.
Yeah.
Where I think they're the team that they faced almost on both occasions was the Sparks.
Yeah.
Led by
Candace Parker.
Candace Parker. So that's really where I caught up with the WNBA, and then unfortunately I caught them at the playoffs where things are always gonna be hype.
It is.
And then you try tuning into the regular season games, and it's like not as hype. Just like the NBA games as well. A lot of the regular season games aren't really that hype.
No.
But it's less flashy than the NBA too, because you're not seeing dudes body each other, dunk on each other and stuff like that. So unfortunately for my teenage brain, that was enough to make me tune out of the WNBA.
But again, no, I get why, because I liked watching those because I always had this basketball curiosity. I'd watch the WNBA, I'd watch a little league game, I'd watch rec games, I'd watch
that's just wanted to see like how people
stack up against actual competition.
Hey, but like I'm not gonna lie, the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark collegiate hype was everywhere.
They pushed it.
Yeah, and I think they even at some point, right, that they were actually getting more viewership there than in an NBA
They
game.
They were.
So this was a really hype duo heading into the WNBA, and I think both of them have fallen short to the hype. I'd argue
They've fallen short of the hype.
a bit, yeah, because I think Caitlin Clark, like, her biggest issue is really the turnovers, right?
Yeah.
And I was like looking at how a bunch of people were like covering that, and they were saying that really it's Caitlin Clark thinks too fast, too far ahead. She sees these like really nice angles, and she really tries to push the ball. Sometimes her teammates don't see it, and that's why it leads to a turnover. And I was starting to get that, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. It's also her first season in the WNBA, so there's an adjustment period.
Yeah.
But now she's in her third season, I believe, and she's still turning the ball over like crazy.
Yeah.
So she really, really needs to figure that out, because this was because a lot of people like were giving her like comparisons and all that, and I think the best comparison for her game is really Luka, because she's a very good distributor. She's a very good ball handler, distributor type. And, of course, she's got that range.
Yeah.
That's why people like to compare her to Curry and Peyton Pritchard.
Pritchard is pretty accurate.
Pritchard is, I think, way more accurate than Steph Curry.
For sure.
And I don't understand why she took offense to that. Pritchard's a great player.
Pritchard's great. Terrific.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that because she hasn't been able to figure that out so far, I think she's kind of fallen short of the hype that I think that was there, because people like hyping her up to be this huge phenomenon, and so far, partly due to injuries as well, she hasn't been able to have a healthy run so far. But the turnovers, man, they can get really annoying.
No, I agree about the turnovers.
Yeah, and then for Angel Reese on her side, it's just the inefficiency when it comes to scoring, because she is throwing up the wildest shots as well. When she's going downhill, she's trying to push somebody out of the way, and then she loses her balance, and she's like, kind of
I've
flings
never,
it like that.
When I followed Angel Reese out of LSU, I was never convinced that they picked those two, and I think that it was Angel Reese obviously was just not the more prepared player between her and Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
The truth of that matchup for me always will be that the WNBA saw something and they wrote it. When I say they wrote it, they hyped it up because Caitlin Clark was terrific in her collegiate career for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
She was this crazy good scorer. She would light it up from downtown. She was popping it from deep. You're right about the turnovers, because I think that she's having a tricky time adjusting to Kelsey Mitchell. I think also Sophie Cunningham on her team, and Aaliyah Boston was on the Indiana Fever, where when they're up ahead, a lot of her turnovers are these go-ahead passes too.
Yeah, they are.
Where she overshoots them because she's thinking that they could get it, but apparently they can't. So it's a bit of a chemistry thing. But what I will say, though, is that with Caitlin Clark, I think she came into the league better prepared. I think when you're talking about the turnovers, they do need to be managed because it is hurting the Fever a lot. But if we're talking about Caitlin Clark as an actual contributor, high-level contributor to the WNBA holistically, I think that she was in the conversation for MVP. Aja Wilson, Nafisha Collier, and then Caitlin Clark. That was the order.
Yeah.
And that was a legitimate order. And I was like, wow, that's actually pretty good. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Because if we go down the line, Kelsey Plum wasn't having a good year. Chelsea Gray was not having a good year. And the rest of the WNBA really wasn't up to the level where Caitlin Clark was leading the Indiana Fever, flipping them from being a non-playoff team to a very relevant team into the playoffs. And even last year, last season, the WNBA, the Indiana Fever proved that they could win even without Caitlin Clark. Just Kelsey Mitchell stepping up and Aaliyah Boston, which was terrific for the team. So, interesting tidbit on that. The conclusion being that I think obviously Caitlin Clark is ahead of Angel Reese by a mile.
Yeah.
In terms of overall development.
That is true. And I think you could also make the argument that Angel has kind of regressed a bit, because her shooting sucks.
It sucked to begin with.
Yeah, it sucked to begin with, but now it's even worse. It feels like it's even worse.
It is.
Because even the free throw line, where she was relatively decent at getting her shots in, even the free throw line now, she's struggling a lot.
Yeah, she is.
And it's really the form. She's got a horrible form.
It's not the best form.
Yeah,
it's
she
too much
needs
to
to
her
fix
side.
it. She really needs to fix it, because it was like she's going like this, right?
Right.
And then she's shooting from her left, but then she's got her right foot forward.
You actually have to move it a little bit here.
Yeah.
That's right there. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
there.
and then
That's
she's
weird.
got her right foot forward. So it's very awkward.
It's awkward.
looking.
Yeah, I can't. She has a
I don't
shooting coach.
I don't understand how she's gone. How she's not off balance every single time. She's so used to it as a girl.
It might be. It
Yeah,
might be a
but I feel like
comfortability
she's
thing.
just really off balance on it.
It might be.
And they need to figure. She needs to get it in tighter.
Yeah.
And then put her left foot forward because that's going to be more comfortable if you're a left-handed
Lefty
shooter. Yeah,
It's an interesting observation about Angel Reese. I didn't realize she had her front or opposite foot forward.
she did. Like
She does
I was like always wondering like why she always looks so awkward. And I looked down and it's like why is her right foot forward?
that explains so much, actually.
Yeah.
That does about Angel Reese. All right, we'll touch on that in a bit. I'll finish up these comments because I'm so close to the finish line.
Go.
I think they removed the decals for safety because some players slip on them. From Ito yun. Talk about the NBA, the decals.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Maybe not. I
don't think I've
never
seen
seen
a,
it, yeah,
I've
I've never
never,
seen
I've
them
never
slip.
seen a lot of people slip on those.
Maybe. I don't know. But I guess if there's like an internal conversation in the NBA, like,
About
hey,
it. Maybe.
let's take it out. But I mean, if you're putting it in the NBA Cup, that's an irony. Like,
Yeah,
what
exactly,
you
yeah.
you do it for this tournament that nobody gives a crap about. Now you want now in the one moment of the year where it all leads up to this. We don't.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah. Exactly. Like
Okay.
it doesn't make sense.
John, yeah, it would be nice to have it back though, especially when they have separate courts for NBA Cup games. So we rock with the decals.
Yeah. Exactly.
Marky Buff, Bol is the Wemby of the PBA. Bol would be the Wemby of every other league that he actually played in because he was always going to be that good.
Yeah, I mean, if you this is something I feel like needs to be stated again and again. If they're good enough to play in the NBA, they're good enough to be your MVP in other leagues.
That's facts. That's big facts. They're very good scorers too.
Everybody had a bag going into the NBA.
True.
It's just a matter of at the highest level of the game, how consistent can you be, and will you be able to step up in the same way that other players are stepping up? Because I think it was really funny. There's this center who I think he used to play with the Kings. I forgot his name.
Vlade.
I don't think it was Vlade. I forgot.
Scott. What year?
Early 2010s, I believe.
2010s?
Yeah, I believe.
Kings?
Yeah, I
Boogie?
don't. No, not Boogie.
Black or white?
White.
White.
It looked like a
Brad Miller?
Gosh, I'm trying to. Was it Vlade? It looked like a European.
2010s is definitely not. European?
Yeah, he looked kind of European. I think I might be getting the team wrong. Anyway,
Okay.
this dude,
Digressing.
former NBA player,
Mhm.
center. When he was in the NBA, he wasn't allowed to shoot threes at all.
Mm-mm.
He goes to play pickup ball against these dudes who think they can take him, and he is knocking it down, knocking the lights. Like first shot, 3-point, it swishes. It's like these guys have that in their arsenal. It's whether or not they were allowed to do it.
Well, I'll give you a name because if you're saying bald, white, European in the 2010s, Pero Antich? And he can shoot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Pero Antich. Not Pero Antich?
I think it might be him. He had a
You know-
European sounding name.
Yeah, he played for the Hawks, though, not the Kings.
Oh, was it the Hawks?
But if I'm looking at big men, help me out here, guys. If we're talking about like European big men who played in the 2010s, that's one of them, Pero Antich. Who
Pero
could shoot.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, he
but
could
the thing
shoot.
is, like when I saw him, he already had that beard.
He had a
with
beard.
him. Yeah, and
Spencer Hawes on the Kings? He could
actually, it might be Spencer
Spencer
Hawes.
Hawes?
It might have been Spencer Hawes.
Yeah, it might have been Spencer Hawes. You'd probably think it's
Yeah.
Spencer Hawes. Okay, let me go to the
Anyway.
comments real quick.
Yeah.
'Cause all right.
Yeah, these guys have skills, guy. I mean, Draymond Green had
No.
a bags in his gun. If you look at his like preseason game,
Yeah.
like he was bringing the ball up. He had a
He had a
piece-
jumper.
He had a jumper.
Mm-mm.
It looked a bit funny, but he had a jumper. It was effective enough. But then when he got into the NBA, he realized he can't score with the best of them.
True.
So he decided, I'm gonna set screens for the best of them,
And I'm gonna
and I'm gonna beat people up on the
beat
court.
people up. I'm gonna learn karate.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn karate and kick you in the nuts.
Exactly. All right, let's get to the finish line here. I like the nickname concept, but without the political themes. That was important, I think, with the nickname concept. Yeah, because they were like some of it would be politically backed, which was
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
All right, John. I don't mind it personally. Wazam Libi, what are your thoughts about Bam out of bio? Literally. OUTOFBIO out of bio, surpassing both MJ and Kobe. Much ado about nothing. Somebody who scored 83 points.
Yeah,
Cool. Much ado about nothing.
yeah. It's a nothing burger, really. It's just somebody managed to score a lot of points. That's it.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, give him his flowers. I mean,
He did score 83.
he did score 83. At the end of the day, it's going to be there. It's going to be on the record. He did score 83.
Exactly. For me,
And-
it doesn't make him an elite scorer in my mind.
Yeah,
No,
it doesn't.
He had a great night.
It doesn't make him better than Kobe in anybody's mind, unless
Correct.
you're, mentally not there.
Correct. Unless you have brain damage.
Yeah, unless you have brain damage and
What are
you're
you
like,
looking at?
Bam's a better scorer than Kobe.
No.
No.
Hell no, bro.
No, you are
He's had a
just.
great night. It's like up there with Andre Miller scoring 50 points.
Yeah, there's
one
been
of those.
there's been a lot of people who came off the bench averaging 3 points a game who scored 50 points. Are we
Exactly.
gonna call them prolific NBA scorers now?
Of course not.
Of course not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
We're not.
It's just Bam had a really good night, and the Washington Wizards could not stop him. That's
And-
it.
Well, they actually even helped.
Yeah, I mean they tried to triple team him, and he still got the 83. So
It's blame
Your
the Wizards.
ass.
Blame the Wizards.
blame the Wizards. You
You're
guys
cheap,
suck.
bro. All right, Marky Buff. Best PBA nickname: Brandon the Master Bates.
Who?
Brandon Bates is a PBA player, and and the nickname is supposed to be the Master. Marky Buff. I swear, we gotta fire these commentators, yo. Y'all are horrible. Y'all are horrible, man. John, what do you think is? Do you think it's the best team? All right, quick fire one here. What do you think is the? That's a good question, John. What do you think is the best team to never win a title?
Oh.
I would say one of LeBron's Cavs teams and the Chicago Bulls, 2010, 2011. 2010 Bulls, one of the LeBron's Cavs teams. I think the 2008 Cavs team, maybe the one that went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Kings up there. And my last one would be. Man, might have been the Phoenix Suns with Booker, Paul, Ayton, and because that was a great team. They just ran into a better team.
What about the
Might be OKC too. Stockton Jazz.
Yeah, Stockton Jazz. What do you think about that?
I in a world without Michael Jordan,
They definitely win.
they would, but them winning a championship would it have meant something?
For the Jazz,
For
it
the
would've.
Jazz, it would have, yeah,
Yeah.
because they've been an up and down franchise. But yeah,
Ah.
those are my guys.
Mhm.
I go
outside of that, but
Kings.
there's also what 2018 Rockets.
Yeah, that's one of them. The Paul,
Yeah,
because they
Chris
had
Paul.
such a big asterisk. Like if Chris
Mm.
Paul played, this would
Yeah.
have been a different outcome. And they're definitely right in my opinion. They're definitely right.
Yeah, exactly. This was them knocking off year one Durant with the Warriors.
Exactly.
And
That would have been crazy.
This would have been like Durant goes to super team
Yeah.
and to win it all.
My next
gets
journey.
knocked out by Chris Paul and
And-
James
yeah.
Harden.
would be
That
right-
would have been
That
huge.
would have changed the NBA landscape for sure.
Yeah.
Because he would have been hopping from the Warriors to the Rockets real quick. That would have been so stupid of Kevin Durant.
Yeah, that would have been really something, and that would have forever tarnished Durant's reputation.
It would've.
I don't think he's coming back from that.
No. I mean, he's not. After me, he's never gonna come back from what he did to OKC.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
part of me will ever forgive him for what he did to OKC, bro.
You
Never.
snake.
You cupcake snake. All right, Marky Buff. Player before played in the old Boston Garden where the flooring is the worst. Sorry, Marky Buff again. Lynx is the Golden State Dynasty of the WNBA. That's true. Nah, but I would say they were the Bulls. Obviously, they were the Bulls. Like it was like Michael Jordan era. For me.
Uh-huh.
It felt like the
Yeah.
Michael Jordan era.
I mean, something that we need to also remember about the WNBA is that they are way younger than the NBA.
Yeah,
They're like
very
in year,
young.
they're not even in year 30 yet, right? I think
Yeah.
they're still in like 28, 29, maybe.
I think a lot of people they have such high expectations where we don't live in an era as well where we can't figure out a way to megalomaniac boost you somehow.
Yeah.
So I think that's where a lot of the sentiment is coming from.
Yeah, and the thing about the WNBA as well is that I really think that they also need to get off their high horse a bit because these players be straight up delusional sometimes.
With the money.
Not just with the money, with their commentary as well. When they say
Yeah.
things like, "Oh, I'm just as good as Jordan," like
No, you're
what?
not.
No,
I don't think so.
No, and then I still remember there's that one player who's like, you versus Anthony Edwards in 1v1, pick up basketball 1v1. Who wins and by how much? It's like, who gets the ball first? Me? 15-3. And it's like, huh?
Well,
Huh?
I think also I'll say this right. A lot of them are probably delusional, but
Mm.
in the same breath, you're kind of asking a question to a competitive person.
Yeah.
They're not gonna say that. You're not gonna say the other person, obviously.
Yeah,
So
to an extent, but
to an extent,
you gotta be, at the very least, you gotta have to maintain a bit of
sanity.
sanity in
Yeah.
your commentary as well. And the fact that it's not just that one person, it's
lot of them.
almost all of them have that same kind of mentality that I can take on anybody and win. You're not even winning in the WNBA right now, bitch.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I look at your team and you guys are dead last.
Yeah.
Shut up.
For sure. I can rock with that. Yeah, you're dead last. You're not beating the other women out there on the court.
Yeah, what do you mean you're gonna rock up against the NBA guys when you can't even rock up against the WNBA?
Exactly. It's weird.
It's weird.
The sentiment does exist, but it's crazy how a lot of them don't live in that world where they have to recognize that and be in tune with that.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, game needs to recognize game as well. If you're not giving respect out to players who got game, then why should we respect you? That's another thing. Outside of that as well, I think they need to also. It's a bit of a touchy subject as well. The whole. What do you think about that whole debate around lowering the rim?
No, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. No, I think
You're
that.
in. Don't do it.
Well, look, if there's gonna be any type of emphasis on progress for that league, you don't want to. Because is dunking the problem? No, it's just shot making.
Well, that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
I think that adds an element to it of flash, which is good for casuals.
It is, but you know what drives a lot of actual WNBA attention is not the casuals. Because the problem with the WNBA is that, all right, I'll say this in extent to everybody watching, right? The WNBA by default is competing with sports in general. Whether they like it or not, you are competing with sports in general. What does that mean? Right now, what I find extremely stupid of the WNBA is you are launching your season in the middle of the NBA playoffs. Nobody's going to watch you, period.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot to consume. And we're talking about the NBA playoffs. There's no way we're going to watch Caitlin Clark and whomever and it's going to be over Shea Gilgeous versus Wemby. That's not. That's,
no.
You could give me a free ticket. And if you tell me I'm going to need to pay $1,000 to get the Wemby, I'd rather watch the $1,000 ticket
than
it's going to cost me. Now, in that world, when we're talking about just because the people like me are the ones, people like yourself and myself, we're the ones who tell the casuals exactly what to look for and what to be excited for because we're the ones who know ball. The problem with the WNBA is a lot of the fans who are watching your game are not women; they're men.
Yeah, it's men.
Because men are genuinely interested in basketball. Women are interested in other things in general.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? In general, meaning they are more interested in fashion, makeup, all of that. There is a big flip and rotation that you're asking for a lot of women to do to be interested in basketball. That's just what's the reality of women's interests in the general sense, right?
Yeah.
And
sure.
men again are interested in sports, women are interested in other things.
Yeah.
So what I believe to be the bigger problem is like I don't really care too much about dunking. Like women dunking, cool. But if I know it's a 9-foot rim, it makes it disingenuous for me to clap for them. Nice job.
9.5.
Yeah, 9.5.
Wow.
No, if you can dunk on a 10-foot rim, dunk on a 10-foot rim, and I'll be genuinely entertained. But outside of that, it's physicality. It's shot making. It's like Caitlin Clark is an exciting person to watch because she can make a lot of good shots.
Really crazy shots too.
Right. And Aja Wilson too is a good watch going up against Anafisa Collier in the playoffs because she's a great player. We don't have to over casualize the WNBA. Like, do we need dunks? Not really, to be honest. I kind of agree with Brianna. I think it was like Brianna Stewart or something where we're trying to give them it's like they don't want your sympathy, so to speak. But I do agree where if you want progress, and if that is what is going to be required to achieve progress, you can't lower the rim. It would make it disingenuous, the whole thing.
Okay. So there's a certain level of disingenuity to it. Okay, I can kind of see where that it comes from. I think really like the main argument against it that I kind of rock with is the fact that we're used to shooting at a 10-foot rim. If you lower it, it's an adjustment period.
Yeah. It would mess up your shot.
It would to a certain extent, and that's why I've always thought this about it. It's that the whole point of about this is sports entertainment,
Exactly.
and unfortunately, most people are going to be casuals about it, and this whole push for viewership, you really need to get guys into it. And unfortunately, guys are kind of monkey brains when it comes to sports. They want to see people like unfortunately, the 90s heads.
Yeah.
They want to see people basically get super physical.
Yeah.
And the best display of that in basketball is these athletic types of plays. These I'm going to dunk on you type of things.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a layup, hang, jelly it on the other end. Those are the type of thing that as soon as you see that, the average person, even though they don't watch basketball,
Whoa.
they're gonna be like, "Ooh,
Amazed.
that looked nice."
Exactly.
And that's why I'm team lower the rim.
Yeah.
Personally, I think they just need to lower it by 6 inches because that's the difference between the men and women's volleyball net, and it's good enough.
Oh, there's a difference.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's another reason why I rock with the need to lower the rim as well. It's because in other sports as well that require the physical ability to jump, that's what they do. They lowered the net.
Yeah.
For women's, it's not a major insult to say that on average men are taller, men can jump higher. So that's not a major what do you call this, insult, I think, to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But really, I think the biggest argument against it is really that shot, lowering the rim is going to mess up your shot.
Yeah.
It's going to be an adjustment period. But my counter argument to that would be, thankfully for the WNBA, they have a long off season.
They do.
So you have a lot of time to work on that shot.
For
And
sure.
if you really want it, you're going to be able to make the adjustment. I think.
All right. Maya Moore would have been the GOAT if she didn't retire early. I stand on that hill. She would have been the GOAT for sure.
Why did she retire early?
She was, well, there's a whole documentary on her retiring, and it involved her trying to get her love life out of the jail. It's crazy, too. It's a crazy story. Like
Oh my gosh.
She was so hell-bent on making sure that her love life would get out of jail. All right, I'll keep going down.
That's it?
That's it, actually, yeah.
Oh, what?
She wasn't injured. She was nothing. It was her focusing on getting her love life
Oh
out of
my
jail.
gosh.
And she never returned to the game. And I thought, damn. Boy, you better be giving it to her good, man. She threw her Jordan-level career for you.
Wait, was it a man or?
It's a man.
It was a man. Oh my gosh! This is where the really modern woman would step up and say, "For a man,
But yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really." And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to agree with her.
Yeah.
Really?
Really? Yeah. No, because, again, you threw away a Jordan-level career. But
yeah, for a dude who ended up in jail, by the way, like
I don't know. I think there's like some type of injustice thing going on. And
Oh,
she
it was
trying
an
to
injustice
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I remember because there was a documentary that they tried. Not really a documentary, like the news covered it and said, hey, because so many people were wondering where Maya Moore was now. And
Yeah.
the guy she fell in love with, she was exiting the jail penitentiary. And that was it. I think they're trying to build a life now together. And I like that when Maya Moore goes to the Lynx games, everybody just pops off like, yeah, this. She won you 4 chips. She was the best player.
Yeah.
She was terrific, Maya Moore.
Yeah. I thought for sure that she was gonna. Because when she was playing, she was already in conversation of being the GOAT of the WNBA, and then all of a sudden, like, she wasn't there, and it's like, where is Maya Moore?
Correct. Facts. It's a disservice to players who sucked at shooting to be labeled the same as Angel Reese. Damn. John, I'll just burst through this. Angel Reese is horrible to watch. She hasn't improved since her LSU days. Marky Buff, as long as Aja is in the WNBA, Clark will have a hard time winning a chip. True. I agree to that.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. But the thing about Caitlin Clark is that if she gets everything in gear, she lowers those turnovers down to 1, maybe 0.5 turnovers a game, and then she gets that shooting down, because I think she's also been struggling lately to knock that ball down. In the recent game, I think she was like 1 of 7 from downtown.
Yeah,
so
kind of struggled.
She's struggling right now, but if she can get everything in gear, and she looks like that collegiate player that we saw, where she was dropping 50 bombs on him, I feel like it's gonna be a tough battle, but I think
she has a chance.
I think she most definitely has a chance.
Well, when you have Aaliyah Boston on your team, who can
there's
defend
that too.
an Asia Wilson,
And
possibly.
they also have a very good secondary, sometimes primary scorer in Mitchell.
Yeah,
So-
Kelsey Mitchell, for sure. Earlier, they were trying to ask, maybe Costa Kufos, Brian Scalabrine for the guy.
Kufos.
Costa Kufos?
I think it was.
Costa
I think it was Kufos.
Maybe.
It-
Okay. Floopy Fad, what's up? Says, hi, Lib Bum. No, I'm good. It's been fun. Nobody expected them to win, Floopy Fad, and I'm happy that they went out.
Yeah,
they did.
it was Costa Kufos. It
was Costa Kufos?
Yeah, I just looking at his
Okay.
photo right now. It's Costa Kufos.
All right.
His beard is way longer in the video that I saw, though. But yeah, it's him.
Costa
It's him.
Kufos was pretty solid.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
and surprisingly enough, if you look at him, he was with the Kings 2 years.
Yeah. During that time that you talked about, yeah?
Mm,
Okay.
Yeah, 2017 to 2019, basically.
Got you.
Uh-huh.
To the question earlier about teams that never won a championship that deserved it,
Mm.
KD Thunder, Harden Rockets, CP3 Clippers, the one with Blake and DeAndre.
Yeah.
2002 Kings, again LA Clippers with CP3, Barkley Suns. Barkley Suns. Come on, John. I don't think the Barkley Suns deserve to win that. PBA season champion with imports, Marky Buff. We're going to talk about that in a bit. And then the PBA Cup winner, all Filipino. I can see at the end of this comment tunnel now. I think they should lower it. It'll attract more fans, in my opinion. I mean, they already use smaller balls. Okay.
There's that too, yeah.
Should the WNBA lower the rim, Marky Buff? Okay. All right, here we go. We're at the end. That was wild. Las Vegas Aces Dynasty versus Lynx Dynasty. Lynx Dynasty. Because they had the defense to contain Asia Wilson. And then outside of Kelsey Plum and Chelsea Gray, I like Lindsay Whalen and Maya Moore.
Mhm.
Unmasked. Rain or shine winning later. Finally, we
All
got
right,
to the end.
we're going to
We're
headed
now
to our-
current. Goddamn.
All right.
All right. Thank you to everybody for engaging in the comment section. I apologize. We just had to go through. I don't like it when we leave somebody out and they put in a good comment. Let's get through the rest of the stuff for today, right? So, the Western Conference. Let's talk about that before we talk about the PBA. I know a lot of y'all want us to cover the PBA. Hang on now. We're going to take through this blitz, or we're going to go through this blitz real quick because it is a quick blitz. OKC Thunder. Ito yun, lower the rim. They're already playing differently than the males basketball. True. Might be. But let's talk about the OKC Thunder taking out the Los Angeles Lakers. It's very simple, Raf. This is a quick monologue for me where nobody really expected LeBron James and the Lakers to even win against the OKC Thunder anyway. Nobody expected them to win against the Houston Rockets without Luka Doncic, yet they did. The fact that they were there and they were able to accomplish what they did this season, making it to the semifinals, going toe-to-toe against the best team in the NBA, the number one seeded overall OKC Thunder, with one of the best defenses and the most explosive benches in the NBA, with Jared McCain, Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, AJ Mitchell, who came onto his own. I think that the Lakers, in my opinion, overachieved, Raph. They did something that they overachieved in the sense where they weren't supposed to be here, but they were. Now, if Luka Doncic came back, but it had been a different story, sure, we can have that conversation. But as it stands, Raph, the Lakers, I didn't care if they lost. Like, you're not supposed to win anyway.
Everybody expected them to lose.
You weren't going to win anyway.
Yeah, well, the only thing we really wanted out of the Lakers in that series was for them to win 1 or 2 games.
Or compete.
Yeah,
I was
or
happy with
compete.
them competing.
Yeah, and they pretty much did compete. It's really just that 1-2 games that they kind of got blown out. But outside of that, they were there. They were competing. They held Shea to
18
less than
points.
18 points and 20 points in the first 2 games. What more could you ask for, really?
And in game 4, he had like 30 points. That was the only game Shea had 30 points, and it was a really close game. So, a couple of comments flashing now. Ito yun, again, lowering the rim. Marky Buff, AJ Mitchell became J-Dub in that series. When the Thunder needed an explosive number 2, they got one in the form of AJ Mitchell, which
That is true.
speaks to the depth of this team. Because it wasn't even Chet Holmgren who was killing them, who was the supposed number 2.
Yeah.
It was AJ Mitchell. They're not supposed to go past the Rockets, but they did. Where's Floopy Fad? What up, Floopy Fad? Whatever, Floopy whatever. Because I ain't ducking smoke. I don't duck smoke. What now? I didn't care that they lost. Nobody did. Nobody did. Genuinely did. Nobody did. Okay. OKC team chemistry is just different, unmasked. So the Thunder, and is about as quick a conversation as we can have, are through to the Western Conference Finals. Now the question is, Wolves and Spurs are the only team left to debate about.
Yeah.
Now the Wolves were able to take game 1. They were able to take what I think was a game 3.
Game 4.
Game 4 because Wemby got ejected in game 3 and got thrown out. Correct. Yeah, and did he get suspended for game 4? No, game 4 he got ejected and
he
got
got
thrown out.
ejected. Yeah.
Okay. One more comment. Just imagine a Thunder. They also have Wallace, Wiggins, Joe on the roster. Yeah, that's a deep team.
It is. It is.
So let's say because what the way it's looking right now, because the Wolves might not be as talented as the OKC Thunder. It's going to be Spurs and Thunder. Quick take: if it's going to be Spurs and Thunder, who do you have winning?
I think I think if they're able to bring in what they were able to do to the Oklahoma City Thunder during that regular season run, especially in the in-season tournament where they were really practically owning the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think the Spurs have have the what do you call this? The matchup. It's a bit of a matchup nightmare for the Thunder.
Yeah.
In that final game of the regular season, the Thunder figured out a way to get around it.
Yep.
And it's whether or not the Spurs are going to be able to maintain their matchup dominance against them. Again, with what happens in the regular season, you could always take it with an asterisk when it comes to the playoffs, because this is when all teams are going to be coming in with a lot of data.
For sure.
A lot of time to prepare. And whether or not we really need to see the first 2-3 games. And if the flow of the game is Spurs are slapping the OKC, then I can pretty much tell you that it might just be another rerun of the regular season. I think I lean in favor of the Spurs in this matchup.
Yeah.
Just because Wemby has been a nightmare for SGA. As soon as he gets into the paint, it's like he gets a bit lost with that length in front of him. So that's what it looked like for me in the regular season. I think there's really no outside of that final regular season game. I don't see a lot of ways for OKC to get around it. I think if the Spurs are able to maintain this run, because even without Wemby in that game 4, the team came together as a whole. So if they can do that with Wemby like they did in Game 5 and hopefully in Game 6 tomorrow, I feel like this is going to be a Spurs win.
Okay.
Probably
I like
6
that.
games.
I love everything that you said there. I'll go to the comments real quick. Cavs in the East finale. What's up, barbecue? I like that. Barbecue. Now I'm hungry. Okay. OKC versus Spurs, claiming it unmasked. It's going to be a 7-game series. OKC gonna win. Keldon will be the X factor in OKC versus Spurs series. All signs point to OKC, but I'll be rooting for the Spurs in 6, and OKC got to shoot those threes. Okay. Because that game is tomorrow in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I think. If the Spurs make it through, because again, all roads point to the Spurs going through, based on what we all see. Like it just seems a little bit overwhelming now, because if the Spurs are not able to eliminate, the Wolves are not able to eliminate Wemby in that paint, and they're not able to drag him out of there, where Randall, Gobert, McDaniels, Edwards can be effective, where they can get easier shots. It's going to be a nightmare for the Wolves, and we saw that nightmare play out very, very crazily in Game 5. Now let's go to Spurs and OKC. I like that Stephon Castle can match up against AJ Mitchell very well, extremely well. I like that De'Aaron Fox is a different variation to what the OKC Thunder have faced all year. I like the Wemby and Chet matchup. I think Wemby wins that matchup by a mile.
He hates that, man.
He hates Chet Holmgren because Chet Holmgren is a wannabe Wemby. It really is. It's like a cheap version of Wemby. But it's a very good version nonetheless, because Chet Holmgren is a very good player, right?
He is.
And I like that because of the Spurs' defensive versatility with Devin Vassell and Stephon Castle. I think Stephon Castle will be able to hold his own against SGA. Against the Lakers, you saw a lot of good things that the Lakers did against Oklahoma City, that if you're the Spurs, you can rinse and repeat what you did in the regular season to beat OKC. But on the flip side as well, if that doesn't work out, you can do what the Lakers did against OKC to limit an SGA attacking downhill. You can trap him. You can go shell defense on him and just close the gaps every time he tries to attack a certain area and finds that mid-range shot that he really loves. Limit SGA, that's number 1. And number 2, force a guy like AJ Mitchell to score on elite defense like the one that you get from Stephon Castle out on the perimeter. And if that fails, you have a shot blocking presence in Victor Wembanyama, who is one of the first, I think he's the only unanimous DPOY ever to win it. So your defense is there. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, where there might be a bit of a struggle, is I like them because I like the Spurs in this one because the Thunder are not as physical as the Wolves. They don't have the muscle the Wolves have to get Wembanyama out of there.
Yeah.
When you're also so used to playing that small ball, Isaiah Hartenstein will be the biggest factor for the OKC Thunder in this matchup for me. I heart because it's not going to be so much the paint production. It's going to be how much physicality can he impose on Wemby to drag him out of the paint, to force him to take bad shots. And on defense, how much are you going to be able to play him where you, again, take him out of the paint, drag him out of there, make life really hard for Wemby. Now, in this series, we're seeing it when he has Naz Reid on him, when he has Julius Randle, when he has Rudy Gobert. He has stepped up to the plate physicality-wise. He may look skinny, but he's very strong skinny.
Yeah.
He's not. He's like Kobe strong. He's not gonna. He doesn't have the biceps to show off, but he's very, very strong.
Durant type of strong.
Yeah, Durant's strong. They're very strong. And again, he's a great shot blocker. To me, what it will ultimately also boil down to is, all right, can Wemby score more so than SGA score and score consistently and efficiently? If both the superstars step up and the X factors for the teams like De'Aaron Fox, people forget De'Aaron Fox is in that team on the San Antonio Spurs, Keldon Johnson, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, and for the Oklahoma City Thunder, it's going to come down to a guy like AJ Mitchell. And it's going to come down to Lou Dort and AC being able to lock up their assignments and score down the other way. Consistent on both sides of the ball, let's say. I like the San Antonio Spurs going to the NBA Finals on the back of the idea that they just have a better defensive system compared to the OKC Thunder. The OKC Thunder are loaded on the perimeter, but when you see how loaded they are on the perimeter versus what the Spurs love to do on the defensive side of the ball and how they can get out and run and how they can use a Keldon Johnson and Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, use their speed and athleticism in transition, and Victor Wembanyama running down the floor as well. I think they have the better energy. I think they also have the better personnel. Spurs in 6.
Yeah, I'm definitely gone. I'm definitely rocking with everything you said so far. It looks. I think they just have the personnel for it. That's how I feel about it.
They have the personnel and they have the game plan because we haven't really seen the Spurs be really tested in these playoffs, have we?
Outside of maybe that game 1 versus the
Wolves,
the Wolves, where it was really just a surprise win.
Yeah, no team has been a threat to the Spurs.
A major
like you get worried for the Spurs.
True.
I haven't felt that way about them.
So far, maybe OKC will be that team, but again, really need to see how the games flow in the first 3 games. If whoever takes those first 2 games and whoever lands that sucker punch, whoever lands that first sucker punch, that first surprise win, let's see about it.
John, also OKC has not been tested in these playoffs. No disrespect to the Suns and Lakers, Spurs will surprise them. I can agree that if we're trying to say that they haven't really even lost, but the Spurs definitely, in my opinion, John, I agree with you, they will get surprised by all the different things that they were able to take from the series because a lot of their games were like, you actually see a chink in the armor, so to speak. All right? And the last thing I want is for OKC to sweep this whole thing. Like, in the playoffs, Jesus Christ, somebody please beat them. Just take one. And I think the Spurs will be able to do that. I think even a lot of people can. We're going to all proud. Dylan Harper is going to take the Ginobili path as Spurs main 6th man. Not that that's a great take. I think Dylan Harper is also one of those guys on the Spurs who can be a big X factor for them on the offensive side of the ball, Ref. And he has a little Ginobili. And I mean, just because he's left-handed, right? But no, he does have a good feel where he can come in and be that AJ Mitchell type, score a bunch of points, get the 16 to 18 points a game.
Yeah.
And he's also very good defensively, so you don't lose a step when you plug him into the game for De'Aaron Fox. But
that is true.
Again, we talk about personnel. The Spurs team is just as deep as that Thunder team, in my opinion, and they will be tested. I like to also think that the Spurs have gone through more than the Thunder have gone through in terms of opponent quality.
True.
The Thunder have gone up against the Suns and the Lakers. The Spurs have gone up against the Wolves in round number 2. And who did they go up against round 1? Portland in round number 1, which I thought was they're a good physical team. I think the Orlando Magic of the West. So I think they're a bit more tested. I think they're going to go into this with a bit of momentum, talking about the Spurs. The Thunder may be well rested, but they got to be ready for Wemby when they wake up.
Yeah. And what a rather frightening person to run into.
And the alien.
Yeah, just about everybody. Everybody who drives and Wemby's there has to think twice about taking that shot.
Every time.
Every single time.
It's crazy.
And just about every single player, too. You see them, you're like, I'm open. And they're like,
you're
notice
not
Wemby's right behind him. Like, never mind. Yeah, never mind. I'm going to pass.
They do think thrice. We've seen multiple players where even on the fast break, they're like, I got to stop. I got to step a bitch to somebody else. So
yeah. It's like,
it does get
Wemby,
like that.
never mind. Yeah.
So you have Spurs winning.
I have Spurs.
I also have the Spurs winning in 6, folks. And
Mhm.
so far, we should do like a meter for everybody, like how accurate are our takes, because
So far, yeah.
I think we're at 50-50.
In a lot of our
A lot of our predictions,
yeah.
50-50. Yeah.
Probably the biggest surprise of this playoffs really was the Magic practically choking the
Game 6.
the Pistons. I don't know. I mean, like choking the Pistons, but in the first 4 games.
Yeah.
And I think everybody expected like a beatdown coming from the Pistons, but man, did it really expose the fact that Detroit is too Cade centric. And this was something I noticed in the regular season already, and I was kind of concerned about for them coming into the playoffs. And I was I guess I was justified in being worried.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a big thing to be worried about if you're Detroit, and if you're a Detroit Pistons fan a long time. How can you get out of that Cade-centric offense for sure?
Yeah.
Okay, Luka is the last player that defeated OKC Marky Buff. True, he did.
Yeah.
2024. D, what's up, D? Welcome to the live.
2024? No, that was when they won.
No, that was Boston, Dallas in the finals, right?
Oh,
Am I
yeah,
wrong?
24. Yeah, 24. Oh, sorry.
2024.
God, I keep forgetting how we're in 2026. Like,
Yeah, we got like one skip year where we're like, who won, and then the Nuggets, and then the Celtics, and then last year the Thunder. So
yeah,
okay. Unmasked, New York going to the finals. I believe the New York Knicks are going to go to the finals.
Yeah, it's
barring,
looking like it.
Barring a Halliburton level type assault again on them. Halliburton was out of nowhere, folks. That was like an anomaly in the NBA for me.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe Harden will be able to get that kind of bounce.
I don't know, but I think it's going to be Cleveland and New York in the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's see how that plays out.
Yeah.
But it would be, Spurs. I got Spurs and Knicks because I think the personnel that's on the New York Knicks, this is your chance as well to go to the NBA Finals. You were here last year. Everybody expected you to go through because the Indiana Pacers, nobody expected them to go through.
Yeah.
Now is your chance. Seize the moment. And for the love of Manhattan, put police out when you win. It's getting scary out there.
Yeah. I think the police are also legit scared to go out there, or they're part of the crowd.
They might be part of the crowd. I'm not gonna discount that.
Yeah, like can you imagine like the police commissioners just like, where are all of our scouts? Where the patrolmen? Where are they?
They're here. They're with us.
Oh, they're here. They're right over there. And they're like literally burning down the city. Like, oh, okay.
They're the Knicks won, so everybody gets a pass for what they're about to do. John, Sixers win against Boston was the biggest surprise. Yeah, that was the biggest surprise for me. But we kind of saw it coming because they were shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, I mean, as the series progressed, you saw it coming. But I think that should have. I think that series really realistically should have been a sweep.
Yeah,
because it was really that game. Was it game 2 that they lost? That they shouldn't have. They really shouldn't have, especially without Embiid. And then when Embiid came back, he still had to get his footing in, and Pritchard was going crazy. So yeah, this really should have been a series for them to sweep, and they didn't. And because they didn't, Philadelphia got their footing.
Exactly. Spurs versus Cavs, 2026 NBA Finals. Maybe not too far-fetched to think the Cavs might be able to win it, but I don't see it against the defensive personnel of the Knicks.
Of the Knicks.
It's too much.
Really, it's on a Harden needs to go back in time a couple of years and bring out 2018 James Harden in order for this to be realistic.
True.
So I don't know. It's kind of hard to see it right now. Right now, it's really looking like a Knicks make it past everybody else in the East. Really.
Correct. Okay. Last comment here. Adam Silver ain't handing it to New York. It's going to be total chaos. I think the state of New York they low-key don't want the Knicks to win because I think, again, the city will burn.
Yeah, like Mamdani is going to be like, you know what? Rig the games against them, please.
Yeah, even the Knicks management was like, we haven't figured out the police situation yet. We need time. Please. It's frightening what's going on.
We need one more season to plan out the police, guys. Because
just, controlled chaos. Chaos is fine, but controlled chaos is better.
Yeah.
Natoy, OG with Sonny Lee and Anne Hathaway on the sideline is unstoppable. Lonzo Halliburton, they have their own edge. Cavs have Mobley and Allen at the paint, but the Knicks have OG and Mikal. If we're talking about play style, I think, again, Jalen Brunson, I don't see anybody on the Cavaliers being able to stop Jalen Brunson from getting to where he wants to go out there on the court. And I think when you have a Karl Anthony Towns and an OG Anunoby that's playing your 4 and your 5, for example, and a Josh Hart, where they space you out, you're kind of moving Evan Mobley out of that paint. Now, I know they want to crash, so the idea would be to just continue with that spacing. What the biggest X factor here is with the Knicks and Cavs, for example, if that's the projected Eastern Conference Finals, is Josh Hart. Are you going to be able to contain him from getting those rebounds? He's one of the best rebounding guards in the league.
6'5", right?
At 6'5", I think. Yeah. So if Josh Hart sticking to that identity of his, where he's such a great rebounding guard, and you're the Cavaliers, you're not able to contain that. Contain meaning you limit him. You go from like 8 rebounds a game to like maybe 4 and half that. You're gonna have a hard time beating New York because you're supposed to be the bigger, taller team, but Josh Hart alone is out rebounding you. You're not gonna win games against a team that have those kind of guys who can defend you, who will do what you're supposed to do, and who have the ability to get where they want to go, as about as imposing as they want to. So okay, now done with the NBA finally.
Yeah.
Let's go to the PBA, folks. Let's go to the PBA, the quarterfinals. All right, let's get this out of the way. And Lex, holy crap! Robert Bolick, why the hell did you have to foul out? Crazy. Doc steals one, forces a do or die. And then, correct me if I'm wrong. Can you check the schedule? I think the game is tomorrow for San Miguel and Rain or Shine.
Okay, hang on. For the schedule, Rain or Shine is going to be
Tomorrow.
Today.
Oh, it's today.
It's today.
Okay, what time?
5:15 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
So San Miguel and Rain or Shine at 5:15, and then
and
Barangay
then Phoenix and Barangay
later
at 7:30, and then on Saturday we have the Meralco Bolts versus the Hot Shots at 5:15, and then at 7:30 it's going to be NLEX versus TND.
Gotcha. Okay. So, sorry. So, again, going back to the PBA, I think Robert Bolick had a bit of an off night, and that off night was compounded more by him fouling out of that game. It came down to an LJ Gonzalez top of the key airball 3, which was horrendous. It also came down to John, you mentioned it, Shawnee Winston drive to the baseline to tie the game. It just did not fall. What I also thought Doc and Tex did such a great job of in this game was rebounding as a group. They had playoff veterans step up to the plate. Arpogoy, Calvin Oftana, Jason Castro, the ancient one, somehow pulling something out of the bag against NLEX. Katie Lalane was suppressed in this game. I think they did a great job of making life miserable for Katie Lalane in this game. Semerad was terrific for NLEX. Great step-up player. But again, Shawnee Winston needs to be a little bit better. When I say a little bit, actually, he needs to be a lot better because a lot of his shots, they just kept going in and out. They looked like they were going to go in, but it trickled out. And LJ Gonzalez was great. I thought it was the biggest reason why NLEX was even in the game, especially when that game looked like a little bit out of reach because Doc and Tex was able to stretch that lead to 10 a lot of times in the fourth. Homer mentioned that Bolick play declines come. Ito yun. Homer mentioned that Bolick's play declines come the playoffs. Well, this is not a time to decline, ito yun. We have been rocking with Robert Bolick for so long. This is not a time to fade when the lights are bright.
Yeah.
Especially in the minutes where Bolick is on the bench. Correct. With the non-Bolick minutes, Doc and Tex were able to really stretch their lead. With NLEX, you need to be able to stretch, or you need to be able to come up with a big run when the non-Bol minutes hit. Because now you have an opportunity to attack the rim. Now that big shot blocking presence is no longer there. Floaters, mid-range, something needs to happen for you where you get better looks and more efficient shots because chucking it up from 3 and shooting at the clip that you do, it's not going to win you games. Ito yun. Yes, he needs to prove his doubters wrong. 100,000%. L, what's up? I haven't heard from you all day, man. Also, Bolick needs to stop complaining too much. If you watch that game, John, I think we were there, right? I don't know if we were there, John. When we did the live, we covered that game. I was just very surprised at how many free throws Doc and Tex had at half. Yeah. Do you remember I mentioned that, John? Because John's saying yes.
Yeah.
You remember I mentioned that they had like 22 free throws compared to NLEX's 3. So I get where Robert Bolick is coming from. And also, if you remember correctly, I was telling everybody on that live, what are the signs that a game looks rigged as shit? I told him, I made it clear, when Katie Lalane and Robert Bolick hit foul trouble way too early, when there's a big free throw disparity, and they tried to, and because now if you look at the stats, it's very close, right? It's not so bad. But that was actually 19 of 22 by halftime for NLEX, for Doc and Tex, and only 3 free throw attempts for NLEX. And NLEX was actually attacking the rim. NLEX is not a terrific three-point shooting team where they're just going to stand out there and fire.
Yeah.
So we noted that, and I was like, okay, it's happening. So how do you overcome this? The game was close. LJ Gonzalez was able to, because again, the referees will even it out to make it look good, right? But they gave TNT a chance, and when you give TNT a chance, like with a weapon like Bol, it's super difficult to beat a team like that, and they did. They forced a do or die. Now talk about Meralco and Magnolia. That game, simply put, Zav Lucero and Chapman stepped up big time for a Magnolia team that was supposed to be dead in the water. Nobody's talking about them against a Meralco team that should have won that game, in my opinion. But again, it's a matter of execution. It's a matter of being able to impose your game plan. And Magnolia was able to execute theirs on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Lonzo, they need to make Bull take more outside shots rather than let him play close to the rim. Mags lost a 19-point lead. Wait, who won? Now I'm confused. Didn't Magnolia win? I'm pretty sure Magnolia won.
Magnolia won. 95-89.
Exactly. They had a 19-point lead. And Meralco staged a comeback, but again, Magnolia just better. Jerome Lastimosa, I know, was great in this game. Zav Lucero was great in this game. We got to give Jerome Lastimosa a lot of credit, though, L. Because Jerome Lastimosa, I've taken a giant elephant-sized shit on this dude for so long. Because he got his jersey retired by Adamson for God knows. I did not know what the hell they retired his jersey for. Because he was great really for like a couple of years. Because, again, my argument for why that is the case is if you're going to retire Jerome Lastimosa, how come you never retired Alex Nuiles? Exactly, John. Retired for what? I don't know. Lester Alvarez, Alex Nuiles. Shit, retire Cedric Manzano's jersey. If that's the standard, all you got to do is be great for a couple of years. I think Kenneth Doremdes was from Adamson, right? Why did he get his jersey retired? No championships, not even an MVP. Exactly. What did he contribute? I'm so confused. I was so mad. Like, why? This sets a precedent now for every Adamson player, Raf. It's simple. Do enough, and enough is just be good. That's it. You'll get your jersey retired.
Yeah.
So I'm mad at Adamson. I can't be mad at, L and John. Jericho Cruz should be up there if we're at it. Yeah, Jericho Cruz. What did Jerome Lastimosa do? I want to know. And this is not a knock on Jerome Lastimosa. Rather, this is a knock on the Adamson soaring Falcon standards.
Yeah.
You're going to retire his jersey. What about Ken Bono's jersey? Jerick Ahanmisi's jersey. Anyway.
Yeah.
I digress.
Good questions to ask. And going to that game, to what you were trying to point out earlier, but on that NLEX game versus TNT, just wanted to point this out that the final total for the free throw attempts for each team, TNT had 26 makes, 33 attempts, and NLEX had 12 makes, 18 attempts.
See, you got it.
So huge.
It's a huge one, right?
Disparity.
It was bigger in the first half. It was a lot bigger in the first half. And I John, remember we were covering that game? I was like, whoa. But again, with Robert Bolick fouling out late in that game, my only comment was, Bolick, you should not have even tried to give the refs an opportunity to blow that whistle, but you did. So that's on you for knowing the situation and you still engaged where you took the risk was not worth the reward. Reach in, cookie jar, dang, right there.
Yeah. I mean, he had a decent game. 29 minutes of play. He had 15 points, shot 5 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2 from downtown, 4 of 7 from the free throw line. I'd say he had a decent enough game. It's just that really he got into that foul trouble, right?
Yeah, he got into foul trouble early. I called it again for everybody watching. You know a game is fucking rigged when the best player is all of a sudden neutralized, and not just that, the best defensive player on the other team, for example, is neutralized due to foul trouble because the refs are trying to get them out of the game or get them out of rhythm.
Yeah, and it looks really rough too. I mean, on the plus side of things for NLEX, it seems like overall they can, even with what feels like a cook show, they kept it close, right? So there's still a chance that even if they try to cook the next game, they can still come up with something.
For sure. So what if Adrian Wong didn't retire early? I'm not sure. I think Adrian Wong decided to pursue other things. Is Jerome the future of MAG? Yeah. He definitely is the future of MAG. It's looking like he's a part of it. Lucero is another part. I've been high on Zav Lucero ever since UP, guys. Athletic, is one of those great athletic guys that complements your superstar extremely well. Because he doesn't even necessarily need to have the ball a lot of times, which I'm really happy about when it comes to Zav Lucero. He's also capable as a role guy and as a pop guy. And in a modern offense, that's exactly what you need. Hell, he could even be a strong consideration for Gilas. But take note that would mean he would need to replace somebody like Carl Tamayo or Kevin Kiambao, or in even some instances, because of our current lineup, I would say he could replace a Chris Newsom. Yeah, Marky Buff. Him replacing Chris Newsom would not be far-fetched to say, because for the longest time, one of the things I've also personally lobbied for, Raf, is we've never really found that replacement for Gabe Norwood on Gilas. A guy who can dedicate himself to defense and knocking down timely shots, good shots, wide open shots, mid-range mostly, and get us those extra 6 to 8 points. That's all we really need from on a team that's loaded supposedly with talent, which in reality we're not that talented. We're really short on a lot of different things when it comes to our international team. But again, Azaldo Cero would be perfect in my opinion. One more thing. Ain't. His username is Ain't. Man, thoughts on USC Jeric Tang with Kareem Abdul, Aljon Mariano, one of the more wasted talent teams. Because I felt like with that lineup they should have won more. And with USC Jeric Tang, Aljon Mariano, Kareem Abdul, hell, Kevin Ferrer on that team too. Mamuyak is a mini version of Gabe Norwood. Yeah, but mini won't cut it in the international space. You know what I mean? It's just too much to contend with for sure. Okay, so what if Maya Gray didn't tear his ACL? Damn, that's a good one too. Jeremiah Gray. I love Jeremiah Gray. The next series, our San Miguel, I feel like there's going to be a lot of do or dies at this point because of what we saw in the first set of games. I don't see a world where both San Miguel and Ginebra get knocked out in one day, guys. Kyrie, what's up, bro? What's up? Welcome to the live, buddy. Drop your comments. Remember MGR as a Norwood replacement? Nah, that's not a bad take. I like that. Marky Buff. MGR. Matt Ganuelas Rosser. Where's Matt Ganuelas Rosser now? His brother's been balling, though. I haven't seen MGR in a while. But let's make a quick projection for later on. SMB. Again, my whole thing is that because of the corruption, I don't think SMB and Ginebra get knocked out in one day. I just don't. I think we're all going to keep seeing do or dies, and we're going to move on to the next set of games.
Yeah.
No analysis needed. I don't believe that San Miguel and Ginebra are going to get knocked out in one day, guys. I don't think so. Both of those teams have to survive. And it's very unfortunate because Phoenix is on the downturn, or they're on the other side of the fence where Ginebra is a top seed. So Ginebra will probably move on. But San Miguel and Rain or Shine, I think that one goes to do or die. And it's all contingent on Jericho Cruz and Troliano. Will Richie play? I think Richie Rivera will play, actually. I heard he'll play. SMC hate watch later. We'll see, John. I got to get home and then we'll tune into the game. I got to let you know. But, bro, you know what? Before Jamie Malonzo, there was Chris Ellis. I'm a Pure Foods OG fan, but man, Chris Elevator Ellis, I'll tell you about this, Raf, was one of those guys where you're watching, you're like, damn, could get up, athletic, explosive. But because that was it for Chris Ellis, he couldn't really do anything else, which is somehow similar to Jamie Malonzo. He bounced out of the league early, and I don't really know what happened to Chris Ellis. I did a story on Chris Ellis, I remember, and I can't remember if he got injured or it was just a series of injury after injury, but he could never really come back, make a basketball comeback, which is, to me, was unfortunate. He was really fun to watch on Fast Break for sure. Huami or Nambatak? I like Terra Firma Huami, if that answers your question, Lonzo. Give me Terra Firma Huami over Stingray. Stingray Nambatak, some of the worst nicknames ever, bro. Brandon the Master Bates is just horrific for children.
Yeah, that just reminds me of the nickname my brother's classmates gave to their one classmate because her name was Kate.
Right.
So they called her Master Kate.
My God.
And they would just like start chanting it, and she never figured out why.
Why? If you're not of the mind, I don't. You're excused.
Yeah. I think like close to the end of the school year, she finally figured it out.
You probably did.
Yeah, because they just kept repeating it every time they saw her. Like, Master Kate. Master Kate.
Creepy. Ito yun. He got traded and didn't want to play for the other team also. I see. Underrated nickname, Gio the bus driver halalon. See, I put out the video about Sean Queteves earlier, man. And Sean Quitis Queteves. It should have been quit. Nah, I like no quit and don't quit. Daryl Osenar. Quitis Queteves is good, though. But it's better than Kiti Kiti. It is miles better than Kiti Queteves, man. It's just trash.
Yeah. But why the bus driver, though?
Gio Halalon, because he was such a good point guard back in Arellano. And he was, I think, paired with... Who was he paired with? All I know is that he was such a good attacker of the rim. So he was such a good driver. But I think there's a little bit more to the story. Cancelado. Yeah, in college, Cancelado. So they call him the bus driver.
Because
And Cancelado was the conductor.
so he was good at driving.
Yeah, they were good at attacking the
bus
rim.
driver.
So somebody found a
Okay.
really cool nickname. Yeah.
the bus driver.
The conductor. Also, the school is near a bus terminal. Okay, that's some good facts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That kind of fits then.
Imagine the time Spain had La Bamba. We also have El Granada. This was Juan Carlos Navarro.
I
La Bamba.
I think I remember those nicknames.
Yeah.
But I don't remember who they were attached to.
So La Bamba was attached to Juan Carlos Navarro of Spain, and then getting the vid was El Granada during his Powerade days because he was so good. I was such a fan of the PBA at a time where the PBA was actually worth tuning into, guys. And then this is one of the best and the worst nicknames. Winnie the Snatcher Arboleda. You know what's the worst one on record? Rudy Anay Linganay. Rudy Anay Termite Linganay. The fork, man.
Why?
I have Billy Mamaril's nickname. Bro, how about Alex Salamat? Papa Colon. Welcome to the live. Dad Osenar, again, welcome to the live. This is exactly where y'all got to be, man. Bro, one of the greatest nicknames ever is the man with a million moves. Yep, James Yap.
Oh,
James Yap, the man with a million moves.
That is a really nice nickname.
You know what we're missing? Like Papa Colon, Ain't, Marky Buff, Ito Yun, Bakugo, everybody, Alonzo. We're missing that era now because the bonfire, Bon Custodio was dope. Rico the Raging Bull, Ryan the Goat Buenafé. But I think Ryan the Goat Buenafé is a little bit too much for Ryan Buenafé. He never was anything in the PBA, and it was great in college, but you know.
What about Terrence Romeo? What was his nickname?
He was the Bromeo.
The Bromeo, right?
Because what I really hate is that the current guys are so bad at nicknames. The old guys are great.
Whoever's there right now.
Horrible. You are trash. Kite Keteves. You kidding me? Coffee Prince. The Lethal Weapon. See, those are good names. Lethal Weapon. Paul Lee. And then John. Coffee Prince. Mark Baroka. That's not bad. Blakely James, Mays, and Denzel Bowles. Okay. So, again, we gave you our PBA predictions. Very straightforward with it. We don't see a world where any of those Ginebra teams are going down. So, Ginebra, Barangay will probably move on later. San Miguel will look to live to fight another day. In my opinion, Cebuano Hotshot versus the Alaminos Assassins. See, those are crazy good names. Yeah, Buenafé and a lot of Ateneo players. I'll say this because one of the comments from Itoyod, Buenafé is a system player, not individual player. When you're talking about the Ateneo Blue Eagles, right? They've gone through this crazy, like, maybe 12-year stretch of success with Tab Baldwin and Norman Black. The players that they had, Eric Salamat, Chris Chu, Nico Salva, Greg Slaughter, Matt Nieto. I think, who's the brother? Matt Nieto, yeah. Matt Nieto, 30 Ravenna. Keep going down the line with Ange Kwame, SJ Belangel. We go Rafi Verano. I'm trying to remember so many of those guys. But a lot of those guys, Akifa Ravenna during those days, Chris Newsom was on those Ateneo squads. Paul Desideri, Mr. Atinto, Sunday Special. You know what? The Sunday Special is funny because Sunday Salvacion would always have a great game on a Sunday. It was crazy, right? Lonzo, holla at me.
It just fit.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Like,
he's like, today's my day.
I'm going to go off. It's Sunday. And the Sunday Special was care of Sunday Salvacion. What the hell? That Austin R. Was that Lordito Gade? I'm not sure. The Alaminos Assassin. Let me know. H-Bomb Hatfield. Yeah, Sunday Salvacion. Sorry, I'm finalizing the comments. Buenafé's assistant. Yeah, no, a lot of Ateneo guys couldn't really succeed at a pro level because their skills were so terrific in that Ateneo system by both Coach Norman Black and Tab Baldwin. Yes, Lordito Gade. Cool Cat versus Mighty Mouse. That's a good one. Mike Cortez versus Jimmy Alapag. That would have been a good one. Look at that. Because of the nicknames. It's funny now.
Yeah.
All right, so Man Mountain Alley Peak was dope. Yeah, Alley Peak was crazy good. Not the nickname. See, the nicknames were fire back then.
Yeah.
But we had to call somebody mosquito larva. What the fuck is that? What kind of effort are we putting into? By the way, Sean Cadevis reached out to me. He DM'd me and said, bro, facts. I'm like, bro, I got you. There's no way you're going to be walking down like Divisoria. Someone's like, kitty. That's horrible, man.
Yeah.
And they're looking around. They're like, oh, there's much more. No, it's Sean Cadevis, the PBA player. That's just nuts, man. That's nuts to me. But
Yeah, that's an insult.
it is. I was
straight up.
on the live. I was like, is this an insult now or a compliment? Like it's like a weird figuring it out moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Mighty Mouse is way more of a compliment than Kiti Kiti.
Because there was a relevant character that you can attach to with Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Outside of Jimmy Alapag.
Uh-uh.
So you can market that. Like Dennis Rodman was the worm,
Yeah.
but it stuck well
Yeah.
because you couldn't fuck with Dennis Rodman for one.
Yeah, exactly.
Diba? So wait, a couple more good ones before we go off air. Las Tres was fire. Is fire. El Presidente versus the Scholar. Where are you coming up with these? They're nice. The Fireball, Hermes Tondo. I like that one. The Fortune Cookie, Atoy Ko. I love Atoy Ko.
Ooh.
Machine Gun Kelly was dope when Kelly Williams was winning MVPs, man. Rara versus The Flash.
Yeah, that's probably where the current Machine Gun Kelly got that name, huh? He probably tuned into PBA.
Well, yeah, probably did. Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, he probably did. He's like, oh, I could use that.
Pinoy Sakuragi for me was corny with Mark Pingris. Yeah, I thought we could have found a better nickname for Pinoy Sakuragi.
Sakuragi.
Yeah. Scoring Apostle was dope. I thought PJ Simon. Shout out to PJ Simon. The Skyscraper. You know what was the best one for me? The Tower of Power. Benji Paras.
Oh.
What a dope nickname.
Yeah.
You're like, your nickname and the acronym are dope.
Mm-hmm.
Top. Tower of Power. What? Dope as shit. The Rain Man, Renan Netualo. See, the problem with the Rain Man is that it's two things, right? If you're a movie buff, you're like, is he special?
A bit of a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword with the Rain Man. It's a great nickname.
Yeah,
because he was such a great three-point shooter. So
yeah.
good, Raph, that he was supposed to be considered to play in the NBA on the New Jersey Nets.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He was that good. VMAC and LA was the PBA version of CP3 and DJ. You know what? Because some of the nicknames now are, guys. All right, I'll give you some of the nicknames now, right? C-Stan for Christian Stan Hardinger. Ray Stingray Nambatak for Ray Nambatak. The rest are just their names now. New for Chris Newsom. Greg Zilla because he's tall. It's stupid. I hate them. I hate the nicknames now. I really do.
Probably I think the only cool nickname that I've heard recently, and he's not even playing in the PBA. It's Kai Soto's Kaiju.
Kaiju is dope because he's in Japan.
Yeah.
I like that nickname.
Yeah, it also kind of Kai Soto Kaiju.
Yeah, it fits so well.
It fits so well.
One of my favorites, Marky Buff, you're right, the Extra Rice Brothers. J.R. Kenyahan and Bo Belga. That was just so fun. Marky Buff, the Fast and the Furious, I never liked it because I thought it was too corny. One, because they were both bald. Two, because it never fit. It just didn't fit. Because they were also in Hinebra. I hate those Hinebra guys. Kagiwa Helter Brand. I love Kagiwa and Helter Brand for what they were to the PBA and the Gilas program, the national team. But the Fast and the Furious was just kind of like forcing a nickname at that point.
Because they're both bald.
They're bald. You know how all the Fast and Furious guys are bald?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, well, is that why? Because they're bald?
Because they're bald?
What? I'm not too sure, guys. Okay, couple last ones before we do final thoughts.
Yeah.
Was about to comment about Kaiju, great name. Best nickname of all time is Magic. You know how good a nickname is when it's your name?
Yeah.
That everyone forgot your fucking name was Irvin?
Yeah.
Your whole life, you're Magic.
Yeah. Everybody still calls him
nuts.
Magic.
Yeah, I don't even... People get forget because there's another Irvin Johnson. He was a crappy one from the Sonics, the center. Thank God we call you Magic. And you were magical the whole time.
He was.
Bandana Bros, brother, twin daughter of Justin Melton and Mark Baroka. Remember Boy Thunder and Kid Lightning? Yeah, y'all pulling now. I like it. These are great pulls, guys. All right, cool. Raph, been a great, terrific show. As always on the Ball Boys. You guys have been terrific as well. Blowing us up in the comments section. Final thoughts on today, the NBA, the PBA, going forward. What do you have?
Well, I think first and foremost with the NBA, I think it's going to be, I think Game 6. I think this is going to be the final games for our what do you call this? For our semifinals on the second round of the NBA 2026 playoffs. I think this is going to be the final two games of it, bar a miraculous comeback from the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
And maybe 50 points from Julius Randle. Because
it's a requirement now.
That's going to be the requirement because this guy has been just scored 12 points 3 games straight already, and in one of those games there was no Wembanyama. So it's like, how? Why? So yeah, somebody else needs to step up for the Timberwolves for a win to be necessary. And unfortunately for them, this team can play defense, unlike the Nuggets.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard for them. I don't see it happening. I think these are going to be the final games, and then we're going to move off to the Western Finals and Eastern Conference Finals. And boy, oh boy, are those going to be really good games.
It would project it. We're going to be. I think we're going to walk into a very enjoyable conference finals for both teams or for both conferences. Really.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Knicks and the Cavs. That's a good one. That has a little bit of history to it as well with LeBron James and what he was able to do to that New York Knicks franchise for quite some time.
Yeah.
I also like that the Spurs and the Thunder, they have a little bit of history there as well. Tim Duncan era versus Kevin Durant era.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of history on both sides of the fence. And I like, for example, the Wemby-Chet matchup where they hate each other. I like that they hate each other because we don't like you being buddy-buddy. And and they can't really not like each other because one speaks French and he can't just say, oh, sacre bleu. Like, I don't understand you. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, actually, I don't know if Chet actually hates Wemby. He tries to downplay the rivalry between them every now and then. But if you go over to Wembanyama, it's like all of his commentary is like, oh yeah, I hate that dude. It feels like you can feel the hate come off of him.
Yeah,
and every time they play too, you can almost see it.
I appreciate that though. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice for my viewership.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think having this type of rivalry where you just hate this guy's guts so much, and every time you see him, you want to destroy him, and you guys are playing the same position too.
Correct. Yeah.
I think that's fantastic for the viewers. So
100%.
This is exactly why I said going into the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals, it's going to be. Well, it's going to be quite the watch. Then on the other end for the PBA, well, based off of what I'm looking at right now, it's looking like a cook show. So
it's just not. It's just not gonna happen. I don't believe because they can act. What I hate is that it's rain or shine. The other one's rain or shine, right?
Yeah.
Against San Miguel.
Was
I'm
it
trying to make sure.
Yeah, rain or shine versus San Miguel.
I want rain or shine to win. I don't care. Like the scary thing though is that how well can they control Benny Boatwright? Because that's been the biggest factor for SMB. They have arguably our favorite to be the next replacement for Justin Brownlee. And then you got to contend with Fajardo. You got to contend with Perez. You got to contend with, again, the X factors for that team are Don Troliano and a bunch of those other guys. Jericho Cruz, sorry. Meanwhile, for Rain or Shine, Adrian Nocom, Kalen Tiongzon, Jalen Johnson, I really need them to have a big game. Andre Caracot, Gian Mamuya, collectively, just please come together and shut the door already because the last thing I personally want to watch is to look at these two SMB teams move forward. It's going to be an eyesore. All right. Sleeper of the draft, Andrei Stojakovic. He wasn't so bad when I watched him in the NCAA. Huh? Andrei Stojakovic, the son of Peja Stojakovic. I watched him in the NCAA tournament. Not bad. All right, cool. Final thoughts from my end, Raf. Again, everybody, the NBA, it's been on fire. Tomorrow morning, I'll probably go on live. We got the Wolves and Spurs tomorrow, right? Yeah, I'll probably go on live. Yeah, Adrian Nocom legacy game later, John. That's going to be... I'll see if we can go, but if not, I'll do a video after probably just to react.
It's going to be Cavs Pistons first at 7 a.m.
Cavs Pistons, 7 a.m.
Yeah, 9:30 is going to be Timberwolves Spurs.
Looks like we got a fun basketball morning ahead of us, guys. All right, cool. For myself, again, for the NBA, it's been popping. And the PBA, look, because I love y'all on our TikToks and our on TMC's pages and everything, that's why I even fuck with the PBA. I did not give a shit about this league until y'all made me give a shit about this league. But I've also taken giant shits constantly because they make me constipated, and I need to force this down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, understandable.
For sure. But again, that'll be it for the Ball Boys, guys. Again, to everybody watching the live, thank you so much. John, Lonzo Halliburton, ito yun. You guys have been there for me since day one. Keep on tuning in, spreading the love, get everybody on the lives. Let's talk basketball again. For Japheth Quinonala and Raf Chavez, this has been the Ball Boys. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.